Chapter 1429. After a short break, the fourth take began. Without a doubt, there were more NGs. Then the fifth time, the sixth, the seventh, more and more people gathered, and the expressions on their faces became more and more surprised. Until the 12th time, it seemed like Ning, she had also NG'd 12 times. Just as everyone was thinking this, Meng Shi NG'd again. The 13th time, she actually had more NGs than Ning Shi. After the 13th NG, Meng Shi was already sweating profusely and on the verge of collapsing. She threw away the sword in her hand with a bang and walked to the rest area, then crazily swung all the cups and teapots off the table. Accompanied by a burst of noise and debris on the floor, the little assistant covered her ears, her face pale with fright. "Sure, Sister Shi, scram." Everyone looked at Meng Shi, who seemed to have gone crazy. They looked at each other in dismay. No matter how much they wanted to absolve Meng Shi, she had NG'd 13 times, and that was the most basic of forgetting lines. As a movie queen, how could she justify it? This mistake was too low level. So movie queens are only a so. Someone couldn't help but mutter. At this moment, an excited voice cut in from the crowd. Shouldn't the main point be Ning Shi? Ning Shi was so cool just now. Yes, yes, yes. She's clearly the villain, but why am I so handsome? I want to marry her. And why do I feel like Yin Huang and Lu Yin are having an affair? She's so angry for the sake of her beauty. Oh, so director Guo wasn't exaggerating. Ning Shi's acting is really amazing. She probably wasn't in a good state before. On the contrary, Meng Shi, this movie queen, whether it's her acting or her character, they're all exaggerated. Listening to the crowd's discussion, Meng Shi's face was incomparably gloomy, and she looked in Ning Shi's direction with hatred. This damned woman, what did she do to her? Why couldn't she say her lines? Why couldn't she say her lines? Could it be that she was suppressing her scenes? No, that's impossible. How could that vase, who relied on her pretty face, be able to hold the show? It should be known that in the whole entertainment circle, people who could hold the show were rare, and they could only be used on inexperienced newcomers. How could Ning Shi hold the show? No matter what, Meng Shi refused to believe it. After all, not long ago, she had beaten Ning Shi 12 NGs. Tut, tut, tut. So cruel. Jiang Mai watched with great interest. Sigh. Some people, aren't they happy to be alive? Why did he have to court death? However, on second thought, Jiang Mai realized that Ning Shi had been absent-minded these days. He didn't expect that Ning Shi would be so furious just because Meng Shi touched her uncle a little bit through his clothes. Thinking of this, Jiang Mai's face darkened, and a trace of bitterness flashed across his eyes. He knew that as soon as his uncle joined the cast, he would be stuffed with dog food, but he didn't expect that he would almost vomit on the first day. At the same time, since the beginning of the shooting, Yinshin had not said a word. He just sat quietly in the shade of a cool tree. His enchanting face was hidden in the shadow, and his expression could not be seen clearly. However, the backs of the two bodyguards beside him were extremely stiff, as if they were facing a formidable enemy. They had been with Boss for so many years, so they understood Boss's mood the best. Right now, Boss's mood was very bad. Chapter 1430. Sister Shi, do you want to continue? Why don't I tell the director we can continue tomorrow? Seeing that Meng Shi was bewitched and kept taking NGs, the assistant tried to sound her out. However, not only did this not work, it lit up the fire in Meng Shi's heart even more. What are you talking about? Continue filming. If she were to run away now, wouldn't she become a laughing stock to everyone? Under Meng Shi's insistence, the 14th take began. The staff cheered up and continued. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, looking at Ning Shi, Meng Shi couldn't help but feel an unprecedented fear emerge in her heart. This woman was too evil. She was about to say the line that she failed to say 13 times in a row. Meng Shi's sword hand broke out in a cold sweat. Yin Wang, I'll slaughter his entire family. This time, Ning Shi's performance still amazed everyone. After repeating it so many times, when everyone's senses were almost numb, she could still get them into character. and every time she performed, her emotions were incomparably full. This kind of skill, as long as one knew a little, would be incomparably amazed. The only difference was that Meng Shi was surprised to find that the power that seemed to be strangling her and controlling her brain had suddenly disappeared. She hurriedly seized the opportunity and finally said the last part of the righteous line. Cut. Pass. Very good. Guo excitedly shouted cut. Even though it took 14 takes, it was definitely worth it. The two main actors used all their strength to shoot, and it was simply brilliant. I just said that everyone has times when they're not in a good state. It's just a few NGs, don't worry about it. Look, it's pretty good this time. Guo took the opportunity to smooth things over. However, Meng Shi's expression didn't look much better. It was just that she was so exhausted that she didn't even have the strength to speak. Damn it, I actually underestimated that bitch. There were a few more scenes, and most of them were Ning Shi's. One of them was a fight scene between Ning Shi and the second male lead, Xianxia, while the other was a love scene between Ning Shi and the male lead, Jiangmai. Just now, after Meng Shi's 14 NGs, Ning Shi didn't look tired at all. Instead, she was in top form. She led Xianxia and Jiangmai into the scene. Both scenes were done with great efficiency in one take, and the effects were especially good. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that they had the quality of a movie. Guo watched the wonderful fight between Ning Shi and Xianxia in the video. It was as if Ning Shi had really killed their father. He also saw Jiang Mai's superb performance after Ning Shi brought him into the scene, which almost made the audience cry. He was so happy that he couldn't stop smiling. The day's shooting was finally over. Finally, Ning Shi had the chance to meet her sweetheart. As soon as they arrived at a deserted area, Ning Shi immediately pushed Lu Tingxiao against the wall behind him and bit the man's lips. The man groaned as he was bitten, but his large palm held the girl's waist so that she could attack him more easily. Which hand did she touch you with? This one, or this one? The fire in the girl's eyes reached the heavens. Looking at the little girl's jealous expression, as well as the scene of her flying into a rage on set, the man's eyes were filled with tears. He lowered his eyes and gently kissed the girl's dark red lips. Then, he let out a low laugh from his chest. You're still laughing. Ning Shi glared at him. Chapter 1431. Don't worry, she didn't touch me. Lu Tingxiao comforted her. But I saw it all. I saw her rubbing against you with her chest. Ning Shi was furious again. Do you think I let her touch me? The man's large palm caressed the girl's hair that was about to explode. The haze that had been lingering between his brows for the whole day also quietly dissipated. I dodged backwards, but from your angle, it looked like I touched it. It turned out that she was wrong. She knew that the devil wouldn't allow others to take advantage of him. Hearing this, the anger in Ning Shi's heart was slightly appeased. She had been on tenterhooks for so long, worrying that Lu Tingxiao would fall into the vinegar jar. She had never expected that she would be the one who almost drowned in vinegar. Damn, after calming down, Ning Shi calmed down a lot. Her relationship with Lu Tingxiao wouldn't be affected by such a small thing. Since Lu Tingxiao was fine, she had nothing to worry about. Ning Shi and Lu Tingxiao were walking towards a parking lot when two people came up to them. It was Meng Shi and her assistant. Enemies were bound to meet on a narrow road. Why do I bump into this lousy vase everywhere I go? What bad luck. Meng Shi's assistant muttered disdainfully. As soon as Meng Shi saw Ning Shi, she looked as if she wanted to kill her. Then she looked at Ku Mingyu mockingly, revealing a malicious expression. And Ning Shi, I wonder, if your manager and your fans found out that you kept a gigolo and slept with a junior in the same company, how would they react? Hearing this, Ning Shi raised her eyebrows slightly. Huh, slept with him? She liked that word. She liked sleeping with him even more. Seeing Ning Shi's indifferent expression, Meng Shi's face darkened and she snapped. Ning Shi, do you think I can't do anything to you without evidence? Huh, let me tell you, I don't need evidence to speak in the entertainment circle. Indeed, given Meng Shi's status, if she revealed the affair between Ning Shi and Ku Mingyu, people would believe her even if she didn't. Hearing this, Ning, she chuckled. Then she took out her cell phone unhurriedly, clicked on a video, and said slowly, "Movie Queen Ming, you don't need evidence to prove your words. But we're just small characters. Of course we need evidence to prove our words." As soon as Ning she said this, the video showed Meng Shi's continuous NGs, and then she went crazy and even flew into a rage. Guessing that Meng Shi might have known about her relationship with Kum Mingyu, Ning she had secretly asked Xiao Tao to help her record this scene. As the saying goes, those who have nothing to lose are not afraid of those who wear shoes. She didn't really care about the NGs, but Meng Shi had a lot to do with it. Furthermore, Meng Shi was doing it in front of her, a junior that she usually looked down on, a newcomer, a vase, and an idol. Meng Shi didn't expect Ning she to have a trick up her sleeve. Her face turned purple with anger. If this video got out, it would be more serious than Ning Shi and Kum Mingyu scandal. In entertainment circle, scandals were normal. Although they would have an impact, the impact was limited. Moreover, Meng Shi was just saying it without any evidence. However, for Meng Shi, the video in Ning Shi's hand would destroy the image she had painstakingly created. So Ning she was sure that Meng Shi wouldn't dare to act rashly. Seeing that she had achieved her goal, Ning she didn't want to talk to her anymore. She held Kum Mingyu's hand in front of her and strode away. Behind her, Meng Shi almost fainted from anger. She couldn't do anything to her, and she was completely tricked. Chapter 1432. Sweetheart, I'm here. Don't be afraid. Ning she had the expression of a domineering CEO protecting his little lover. It could be said that she was quite dedicated to the unspoken rules. Lu Tingxiao coughed lightly and held back his laughter. Looking at the girl's protective look, Lu Tingxiao couldn't help but think of the words the girl just said in the play. If anyone dares to touch a hair of his, I'll take his head. If anyone dares to hurt him, I'll slaughter his whole family. Lu Tingxiao's heart softened and warmed up. He couldn't help but lean over to kiss the girl's lips. However, before Lu Tingxiao could get close, a fierce palm wind suddenly came towards him. Ning Shi's body reacted quickly. She immediately protected Lu Tingxiao behind her and then hit the sneak attacker with her palm. However, Ning Shi's palm hit empty air. When the opponent saw that it was her, he immediately withdrew his attack. Ning Shi took a closer look. When she saw clearly who the sneak attacker was, she was instantly dumbfounded. Shi Xiao. At this moment, Shi Xiao was staring at Lu Tingxiao, who was protected behind her, with an expression of wanting to kill him. This was such a familiar scene. It was exactly the same as Lu Jingli's reaction when he saw Kum Mingyu for the first time. Ning Shi helplessly touched her forehead. At this moment, she finally remembered Shi Xiao. At the same time, she also remembered that Shi Xiao had probably seen her intimate contact with Kum Mingyu in the morning. With Shi Xiao's impetuous and impulsive character, he actually endured until now to make a move. It could be seen that he had experienced an extremely tragic struggle in his heart today. Shi Xiao's eyes looked as if he wanted to eat someone. Without saying anything, he moved past Ning Shi and once again attacked Kum Mingyu behind Ning Shi. However, with Ning Shi here, Shi Xiao was destined not to be able to touch even a hair of Kum Mingyu. Shi Xiao's successive attacks were all blocked by Ning Shi. Not to mention hitting that pretty boy, he couldn't even touch him. He simply wanted to die. Fuck, he knew that coming to be the lady boss's bodyguard was asking to be humiliated. Now he couldn't even deal with a pretty boy. What use did the boss have him? How could he face the boss? Facing his subordinates who were on the verge of collapsing, a certain demon king didn't react at all. Yep, it felt good to be protected by his wife. After the last attack failed, Shi Xiao really broke down. He looked at Ning Shi and the gigolo next to her with scarlet eyes and complained, "Miss Xiaoxi, how can you do this kind of thing behind the boss's back?" Although the boss is serious and inflexible and doesn't know how to please girls, he is no different from the king of hell when he is angry. Hearing this, Ning Shi couldn't help burying her head in Lu Tingxiao's chest and laughing. "Sweetheart, how do you feel after hearing your subordinate's true evaluation of you?" Halfway through his sentence, Xiao abruptly raised his head and looked at Kun Mingyu in disbelief. Lady Boss's words. What did she mean? Lu Tingxiao helplessly looked at the girl in his arms who had a naughty smile on her face, then looked up at Xiao and said expressionlessly, "It's me." This time, Lu Tingxiao used his real voice. When that familiar voice rang out, Xiao's entire face felt like it was about to fall apart. Boss. Chapter 1433. A moment later, in the car, Xiao kept looking at the back seat from the rearview mirror as he drove. She was leaning against Lu Tingxiao listlessly, yawning nonstop, her star-like eyes filled with tears. She had done so many scenes today and had consumed too much energy. As soon as she relaxed, she couldn't take it anymore. Lu Tingxiao adjusted the girl into a comfortable position. Sleep for a while if you're tired. She nodded sleepily, lay on Lu Tingxiao's lap, and closed her eyes. Soon, there was a long breath. Lu Tingxiao took out a blanket from the locker and gently covered the girl with it. Then, without raising his head, he ordered the driver in front, raise the temperature. Before Xiao's brain could react, his body had already turned up the temperature of the air conditioner a little. This was a terrible reflex. Was this man really his boss? Although he had completely changed his face, at this moment, under the situation where the man didn't deliberately lower his presence. The man's aura and every move were incomparably noble, especially that doting gaze when he looked at Shi. Oh, it was his boss. He knew about the human skin mask, but he never expected that his boss would accompany Shi to act in the crew in this way. He really spoiled her. Kun Mingyu, boss, had actually joined the cast of Dream Seekers and personally protected Miss Xiaoxi when they were filming. Thinking of this, Xiao couldn't help but feel a little sad. If he hadn't lost his boss's trust, he wouldn't have done this. At night, Peach Blossom Cove. She went to the kitchen as soon as she woke up. Annie ran over worriedly. Brother Shi, let me help you. There's so many biscuits. When can you finish them? No, it's done. She waved her hand. With a ding, the oven was opened and a rich, sweet smell filled the air. She put on thick gloves, opened the oven, and took out the biscuits. Annie was about to say that it wasn't enough, but when she saw the biscuits, she was speechless. It's done. She quickly packed the biscuits into a box and then clapped her hands. She made 8 pieces of biscuits. Each biscuit had a word written in jam on it. Put together, it was 9,999 biscuits. No problem. To deal with those illogical lunatics, one had to use divine logic. With the mentality of finishing this matter early, as soon as it was done, Shi immediately rushed to the suburbs to deliver the biscuits. After handing it to Shirlu, she didn't stay any longer. She left the biscuits and directly left. What Shi didn't know was that not long after she left, a low-key black car stopped in front of the old house in the suburbs like a ghost. The person in the driver's seat quickly got out of the car, went around to the back, and carefully opened the back seat door. A moment later, a white-haired man in his 50s, dressed in a traditional Chinese suit, stepped out of the car. Feng Jin and 4 bodyguards followed behind him with solemn expressions. As soon as the man in the traditional suit walked to the door, Tang Yi personally came out to greet him. He lowered his eyes and was extremely respectful. Master, the man in the traditional suit responded expressionlessly. Where's Ashun? In the house. Chapter 1434. The man in the Tang suit strode into the house. Along the way, everyone was trembling with fear and didn't dare to make sound. In a master bedroom upstairs, Yunshun was reclining in a reclining chair on the balcony. There was a script and a biscuit box on a low table beside him. Hearing the movement, the man tilted his head to look at the newcomer and said lazily, Uncle Xiao, what brings you here? Xiao Yi's expression didn't look too good. He raised his hand to dismiss the others and then said coldly, Shun, don't forget the purpose of your return. Is it the Lu family or a woman? Under the moonlight, Yun Shun's expression was cold, and he said faintly, Of course it's a woman. Xiao Yi choked and said, Yun Shun, Ha, it's just a joke. Don't be so nervous. The man chuckled. Xiao Yi's face was gloomy. He had brought up the man in front of him, and he was the person who understood him the best in the world. However, he didn't know when it started, but he couldn't understand him anymore. You know it yourself, Xiao Yi said and walked out with a straight face. In the corridor, Tang Yi was standing straight and waiting. Yi, come with me. Tang Yi seemed to have expected that Xiao Yi would look for him. He clenched his fists and followed Xiao Yi to his study. Under the dim light, Xiao Yi's expression was a little cold. Yi, it's 3 months. Don't tell me that you can't catch Tang Lang with so many people. Tang Lang's eyes quickly filled with darkness, and he immediately knelt down. Master, Tang Lang, Xiao Yi raised his hand and interrupted him. Yi, I know that you grew up with him and you were as close as brothers. How can I not be heartbroken? Have I ever said a word about his foolishness? But this time, it's a crime punishable by death. For the sake of our relationship as master and disciple, I let you do this. I'm already being very kind to him. Speaking of this, Xiao Yi's eyes had a hint of oppression and warning. I'll give you 7 days. Yi, don't let me down. At the same time, in the Ning family mansion, the house was decorated with lanterns and streamers, and the banquet hall was filled with people. Today was the day of the engagement between the Su and Ning families. Because it was only an engagement ceremony, all the people present were the relatives of the two families. Even so, the scene was quite grand, and the people who came and went were all influential people. Congratulations! These two children are truly a match made in heaven. All the guests were politely complimenting and celebrating, as if the incident of Ning Xiutong revealing Ning Shui Luo's identity in public at the cocktail party that day had never happened. Now that Ning Yaohua had given all his shares to Ning Xiuo, and the Su family was going to hold a wedding to marry Ning Xiuo next month, anyone with a bit of insight would know which of the two daughters of the Ning family was more important, so no one would mention it on such an occasion. Ning Xiuo held on to Su Yan's arm and was busy entertaining the guests. She accepted everyone's blessings and envious gazes. She had never felt so satisfied before. This was just the beginning. In the future, she would get even more, much more. It was a pity that Ning Shi, that bitch, was not here today. She could not see all this with her own eyes, however, it didn't matter. Her wedding was next month. At that time, the whole city would witness everything. Even if she wanted to hide, she couldn't. Chapter 1435. Her phone rang. Ning Xiuo took it out and saw that it was an unfamiliar number. Hello, who is this? Ning Xiuo's voice was sweet and polite. She thought that it was a guest. Xiuo, it's me. It's Mom. Ning Xiuo's expression changed instantly. She covered her phone and smiled at Su Yan. Brother Yan, I'm going to take this call. Okay, go ahead. Ning Xiuo hurriedly took her phone and walked to the courtyard. The sweet smile on her face instantly disappeared. She said sternly, Didn't I tell you not to call me? There was a pause on the other end of the phone. Then, a slightly embarrassed voice came through. Xiuo, I heard that today is your engagement day. Mom is just, shut up. The word mom seemed to have touched Ning Xiuo's fragile nerves. She immediately interrupted the person on the other end. Sun Lan seemed to have realized her daughter's taboo. She quickly changed her words. I just wanted to congratulate you. There's no need for that. I'm already very grateful as long as you treat me as if I don't exist. Oh, right. Xianxia went to look for you a few days ago. How dare you mention Xianxia? How many times have I told you not to come to the Ning family? Did you listen to me or not? Do you want to kill me to be happy? Ning Xiuo's anger was immediately ignited at the mention of that matter. However, she did not ask why Tang Nuo went to the Ning family that day. Xiuo, it's too hurtful for you to say such words. I also know that it's not easy for you in the Ning family. In order not to cause you trouble, we have not looked for you even once. This time, we really have no choice but to let Xianxia go to the capital. Enough. I'm very busy now. I don't have time to talk to you about this. Just tell me, how much do you want? But only this time. Get this straight. None of you have ever raised me. I have no obligation to you, and I'm not your ATM. Ning Xiuo guessed that it was because of money. She was disgusted by the man's tone. No, Shui Luo, you misunderstood. I'm not doing this for money. Sun Lan never thought that her daughter would misunderstand her so much. If she wasn't forced into a corner by those hooligans, why would she bother her? But the other party didn't even ask why Xiao Nuo went to look for her or what happened at home, and said such words. Shualuo, why are you here alone? Suddenly, Mother Su's voice came from behind. Ning Shualuo did not wait for Sun Lan to explain and quickly hung up the phone. Aunt Su, Ning Shualuo put on her signature gentle smile. Good boy. In a few days, she would have to call on Granny. I've been waiting for this day for 5 years. Mother Su held Ning Shualuo's hand lovingly. Ever since Ning Shualuo's identity was exposed, Mother Su's attitude toward her was a lot colder. Even after Ning Yaohua gave her the shares, it was difficult to return to the way it used to be. Ning Shualuo did not expect Mother Su to suddenly be so nice to her tonight. It was inevitable that she felt flattered, so she quickly put on a shy and touched expression. It's Shualuo's blessing to have a granny like you. Mother Su's face was full of joy. She pulled Ning Shualuo and said some intimate words. Then, she changed the topic. Shualuo, on the day of your wedding with Su Yin, did you invite anyone from the Zhuang family? Chapter 1436. Hearing this, Ning Shualuo froze. She was wondering why Mrs. Su suddenly became so attentive to her tonight. She didn't expect that it was because of the Zhuang family. Ning Shualuo looked embarrassed. Well, I've never heard my parents mention it. The Zhuang family doesn't seem to be on the guest list. Mrs. Su frowned. Then she took Ning Shualuo's hand and said earnestly, Shualuo, we're a family now, so I still want to say something. How can there be parents who don't care about each other? As parents, don't they do it for the sake of their children? Your mother has been estranged from the Zhuang family for so many years. It's time for her to let go. What do you think? Ning Shualuo thought about her words. Of course, I hope that you can bury the hatchet with Grandpa and be a happy family. But, you know my mother, Mrs. Su's eyes flickered and she continued. Silly girl, there are some things that your mother can't do. The Zhuang family also needs a way out. So it's up to you, the younger generation. You and Su Yan's wedding next month is a rare opportunity. If you take the initiative to invite the Zhuang family and give them a way out, the Zhuang family will definitely show up as long as they want to reconcile. When the Zhuang family comes, no matter how unhappy your mother is, she won't let it show on your wedding day. When the atmosphere is good, we can talk things out. Then, the conflict will be resolved. At the end of the day, the Zhuang family didn't agree to the marriage between your father and mother because they felt that their families weren't well matched. Now that the Ning family is developing better and better, and you're smart and capable, it's time for the Zhuang family to change their attitude towards you. Mrs. Su didn't think that Ning Shualuo was not the Ning family's biological daughter at all. Even Zhuang Lingyu only acknowledged Ning Shualuo as her daughter. Of course, the Zhuang family would do the same. Otherwise, how could they get close to Ning, she who was kicked out of the Ning family? Mrs. Su's words were very reasonable. However, Ning Shualuo didn't look happy at all. If Mother Su could think of it, how could she not? In the morning, she had secretly sent an invitation to the Zhuang family. However, after so many days, there was no response from the Zhuang family. It was obvious that they had no intention of paying attention to the Ning family. Now, Su Sun was eyeing the Su family covetously, and Su Sun's wife was not someone to be trifled with. If that was the case, with her connections in the entertainment industry, her own company, and the Ning family shares, it would be more than enough for her to gain a foothold after marrying into the Su family. However, the fact that she was not the biological daughter of the Ning family was like a ticking time bomb hanging above her head. Hence, it was far from enough. If she could get the help of the Zhuang family, she would be able to sleep peacefully. Naturally, Ning Shualuo could not tell Mrs. Su that the Zhuang family did not care about the Ning family. Therefore, she said, Auntie Su, I understand what you mean. I'll try my best to invite the Zhuang family. Seeing that Ning Shualuo was smart enough to understand her intentions, Auntie Su nodded her head in satisfaction. Ning Shuilua's eyes flashed with malice. It seemed like she had to think of another way to deal with the Zhuang family. Chapter 1437. The next morning at Lu Enterprises. The board meeting had just ended and everyone had left. Only Lu Chongshan and Lu Tingxiao were left in the meeting room. During this time, Xiaobao's condition had been getting better and better. He had become as smart and outstanding as a normal person, so the atmosphere in the Lu family had been quite good. However, when the family meeting was held, Lu Chongshan's long-suppressed worry was triggered again. Tingxiao, the family meeting is coming. As the head of the family, how are you going to explain it to your family members? Don't tell me you're going to tell them that their future mistress of the household is a lowly actress? Lu Tingxiao looked out of the window and said expressionlessly, I don't need to explain it to anyone. These words immediately ignited Lu Chongshan's anger. How can you say such things when you're in such a position? Lu Tingxiao said, because I am in this position. If he couldn't even protect the woman he loved, what was the point of him sitting in this position? Lu Chongshan looked helpless and tired. He said slowly, Tingxiao, it's normal for you to have a woman you like. I don't object to you dating this woman. You can spoil her however you want. But how can you treat the position of the mistress as a child's play? Given Lu Tingxiao's status, he could have as many women as he wanted. All he had to do was spend some money on them. But the woman he married was a matter of the entire family. Apart from that, Lu Chongshan was most worried about Xiaobao. After a moment of silence, Lu Chongshan spoke with a solemn expression. Tingxiao, no matter how much you dislike Ziyao, you have to admit that with Ziyao's family background, at the very least, something like Xiaobao's kidnapping 3 years ago would not have happened. But what about Ningxi? She is just an actress at the bottom of society. She won't have any evil thoughts after seeing what happened to the Lu family. Why would she use Xiaobao? Especially now that Xiaobao trusts her so much. At this point, Lu Chongshan paused as a hint of regret appeared on his face. If I had known that you would choose such a woman in the end, I would have found out who Xiao Bao's birth mother was and brought Xiao Bao's birth mother back. Lu Chongshan had said so much, but Lu Tingxiao didn't know if he was listening. He sat at the head of the table with one hand supporting his forehead. His expression was clearly distracted. Seeing how stubborn he was, Lu Chongshan snorted and walked away with a dark expression. The conversation between father and son ended on bad terms again. A moment later, Lu Jingli carefully poked his head into the conference room. Ahem, isn't Dad talking about the same old thing again? Sai, this is still light. Wait until the family meeting, everyone will give you women. That's scary. Lu Jingli couldn't help but shiver as he recalled the past. When will the report come out? Lu Jingli's eyes lit up. Today. This afternoon. I'll go to the hospital later to get the DNA report. I'm looking for the Imperial Capital's military headquarters. They have absolute authority. At this moment, Lu Tingxiao's cold gaze fell on him. Lu Jingli immediately swore, Brother, I swear, I didn't tell anyone about this. I won't tell anyone. Don't worry. Lu Jingli coughed and couldn't help asking, Brother, the result of the DNA test. Do you want it to be or not? Chapter 1438. What kind of result do you want? Lu Tingxiao was startled, but didn't say anything. If he knew the answer, he wouldn't be so worried. Lu Jingli scratched his head. He also felt that this problem was really complicated. Sai, I'll go to the hospital and wait. Let's wait for the results first. It's useless to think too much now. Peach Blossom Cove. Ningxi didn't have any scenes today, so she could rest at home. The courtyard was filled with fallen flowers, and the air was filled with the fragrance of medicinal herbs. Annie was drying the herbs happily. Ningxi and Ning Tianxin were having tea and snacks on the rattan chairs under the flower trellis. Because of the monk's words in the bamboo yard, I can finally relax for half a day. It's such a pleasant life. Compared to Lu Tingxiao, who was going through the biggest problem of his life, Ningxi had a rare day off. Without the ex-boyfriends of the crew, she looked at the lively and cute Annie, then looked at the quiet and relaxed Ning Tianxin. She was in a good mood after being healed by the beauty. Seeing Ningxi's happy expression, Ning Tianxin was also in a good mood. In fact, she had been in a good mood ever since she was discharged from the hospital and moved here, because she didn't need to worry about personal gains and losses anymore. She didn't need to be tied down by one person. A phone rang. It was Ning Tianxin's phone. Hello? Ning Tianxin's gentle expression disappeared, and her tone became cold. Tianxin, are you home? Dad is looking for you. I have something important to discuss with you. No, I'm with Xiaoxia. What's up? Ning Yaobang sounded excited. Something. Great news. Do you know Xianxia? A big boss with assets of more than 10 billion. Even more powerful and influential than the Su family. CEO Hong met you once at the banquet last time and likes you very much. He actually took the initiative to contact me, saying that he wants to get to know you better. When are you free? Come out and meet him for a meal. No time. Bye. Ning Tianxin hung up after a few words. Second uncle called? Ning, she asked, and judging from Ning Tianxin's expression, he must be up to no good. Ning Tianxin nodded. He's urging me to go back for a blind date. Ning Shi's face darkened, still not giving up. Who is it this time? Birds of a feather flocked together. The people in Ning Yaobang's circle were all unreliable. How could they introduce someone good to Ning Tianxin? Ning Tianxin, Xianxia. Hearing this name, Ning Shi instantly exploded. Fuck. He even introduced an old man in his 50s or 60s to you. Is he even your biological father? She knew that Ning Yaobang wasn't reliable, but she didn't expect him to be so shameless. Xianxia was the king of gambling in Macau, the leader of the gambling industry. He was indeed very powerful, but he was already over 50 years old. He was lustful and dissolute. He had changed several wives, not to mention many concubines. What was the difference between sending Ning Tianxin to this kind of family and forcing her to die? It seemed like Ning Yaobang was desperate after seeing that Ning Yaohua was connected to the Su family. He even wanted to introduce such a person to Ning Tianxin. Ning Tianxin looked indifferent. She didn't look angry at all, as if she was used to it. Ning Shi frowned and said worriedly, I'm afraid second uncle won't give up. Chapter 1439. I knew he would do this, but I didn't expect it to happen so soon. Ning Tianxin sighed, I'll graduate next month, and I plan to go abroad. Huh. Ning, she said bitterly. Sister Tianxin, are you going to work abroad? Ning Tianxin nodded. I've invested in several companies in Luo City. Ning, she was reluctant, but she had to admit that it was the best way for Ning Tianxin. Well, as long as you're happy, it's good to go abroad. I'm familiar with Luo City and have some friends there. If you need any help, please let me know. Okay, thank you, Xiaoxia. Ning Tianxin said gratefully. If it weren't for you, seeing that she was about to thank her again, Ning Shi hurriedly interrupted her. We're family. Don't thank me. Oh, Sister Tianxin, are you going abroad? Annie was also reluctant. Yes. Annie, thank you for taking care of me these days. Ning Tianxin liked Ning Shi's friend very much. You're welcome. Brother Shi's sister is my sister. If you want to leave, tell me in advance. I'll prepare several courses of medicine for you and give you a prescription to regulate your blood circulation. Thank you. In a Western restaurant in the capital. Ling Tian. Ling Tian? Guan Ziao waved her hand in front of the man. What? Mo Ling Tian, who was in a daze, suddenly came to himself. Ling Tian, what's wrong with you? You've been absent-minded these days. Haven't you solved that woman's problem? Guan Ziao asked worriedly. Mo Ling Tian's eyes dimmed. He pinched his forehead and forced a smile. I'm fine. Maybe I didn't have a good rest. Guan Ziao frowned. Don't stay up all night and drink less. Otherwise, no matter how healthy your body is, it won't be able to withstand your drinking. Okay, I see. Mo Ling Tian calmed down. Haven't you been very busy recently? Why do you have time to ask me out? Guan Ziao took out a file from her bag and handed it to him. Ling Tian, I need your help this time. Can you help me find this person's whereabouts? Mo Ling Tian glanced at the information in the file. Who is this person? I'm sorry, it's a little private matter. Guan Ziao looked as if it was not convenient for her to say it. She also knew that Mo Ling Tian would not ask too much. Mo Ling Tian closed the file and took a deep breath. He forced himself to erase the image in his mind, which was so disturbing that he couldn't even concentrate in front of Guanxiao. I'll check it for you as soon as possible. Guanxiao immediately revealed a grateful smile. Thank you, Ling Tian. I'm always troubling you. Mo Ling Tian said, by the way, I promised to help you ask Xianxia out, but he's been too busy recently and might not have the time. Guanxiao replied nonchalantly, it's all right, the Liu family has been quite busy recently. As for Xiao, forget it, let nature take its course. Mo Ling Tian was slightly surprised to see Guanxiao's unusual expression. Did Guanxiao let it go? He didn't know how long he'd waited for this day, and he'd assumed countless times that if it wasn't for Liu Tingxiao's obstruction, he would surely use all methods to pursue her. But at this moment, perhaps it was because he was deluded by the guilt he felt towards Tian Exen, his emotions weren't stirred in the slightest, and he wasn't as passionate and impulsive as he'd imagined. Chapter 1440 Platinum Palace. With a briefcase in his arms, Liu Jingli walked quickly toward his brother's yard like a thief. As soon as he reached the door, he bumped into someone, which scared him out of his wits. Damn it! Xianxia. What are you doing? Why do you look at me as if I'm a ghost? Ningxi raised her eyebrows and looked at Liu Jingli suspiciously. Liu Jingli held the briefcase in his arms tightly, and his handsome little face turned pale. You're scarier than a ghost. Xianxia, why are you here? Don't you need to film today? Liu Jingli finally managed to stuff back his little heart that had almost burst out of his body. He forced himself to calm down and asked. Seeing Liu Jingli's wandering eyes, cold sweat, and suspicious stammering, Ningxi narrowed her eyes. Did you do something bad? No. Who said I did something bad? I'm so cute and obedient. You're the one who did bad things. Your whole family does bad things. Liu Jingli denied quickly. Ningxi's mouth twitched. He was so agitated, which made him more suspicious. Were you holding in your hand? Ningxi's eyes fell on the black briefcase in Liu Jingli's arms. Liu Jingli's little heart suddenly trembled again. Bag, can't you read it yourself? Ningxi did not stop there. She continued to ask, what's in the bag? Why are you so nervous? Of course it's a document. A confidential document. How can I not be nervous? The question is, why are you so nervous when you see me? Liu Jingli was about to cry. I can't talk to you anymore. I have to send it to my brother. Ningxi pursed her lips and deliberately stood in front of Liu Jingli. She narrowed her eyes and approached him step by step. Her posture was like a hooligan bullying a good woman. Hey, don't go. The more I look at you, the more suspicious you are. Is the thing in the bag related to me? Ouch, brother. Help. Liu Jingli let out a cry from the depths of his soul. His brother told him not to let anyone know, and the most important thing was not to let Xianxia know. How could he be so unlucky to bump into her the moment he arrived? The worst part was that he couldn't even defeat her. Just as Ningxi's hand was about to touch the briefcase in Liu Jingli's hand, a gentle and powerful force suddenly hugged her from her waist. What are you doing? Liu Tingxiao's gentle and hoarse voice rang in her ears. Ningxi's attention was immediately diverted by the person behind her. She turned around and put her arm around the great Demon King's waist. She smiled wickedly. I'm just teasing Liu Er. He was almost scared to death by me, huh? Liu Jingli. How could this be? Scaring people would really scare people to death, okay? Every year at the family meeting, someone will always send some, information on girls. Liu Jingli looked at Ningxi and explained helplessly. At the same time, there was a hint of nervousness in his eyes. I was wondering what it was. Am I that petty? Really? Ningxi pursed her lips and recalled the time when she was waiting for Liu Tingxiao in his office and accidentally saw a matchmaking album on his desk. At that time, Liu Tingxiao's reaction was even more exaggerated than Liu Jingli's. He rushed all the way back from the factory inspection, fearing that she would misunderstand. Ningxi didn't doubt Liu Tingxiao's words at all. Chapter 1441. Such a terrifying crisis had been resolved with a single sentence. Lu Jingli was amazed by his brother's acting skills and honey trap. He quickly followed his brother's words and said, Okay, okay. I knew you wouldn't see it. Let me bear all of this alone. After saying that, he disappeared like a wisp of smoke. He had to hide from Cece first. Why are you here now? Lu Tingxiao asked as he held the girl's hand and walked into the house. It's a rare day off today. I rested at home in the morning and accompanied Sister Tianxin. I came to accompany my baby son in the afternoon. Is Xiaobao back from school? He's back. He was just asking if he could come to see you. Of course you can. Actually, you don't have to worry about Sister Tianxin. I've already told her about us. You can bring Xiaobao to see me in the future. Okay. Lu Tingxiao glanced behind him out of the corner of his eye, but Lu Jingli had already disappeared without a trace. Just by hearing Ningxi's footsteps, Xiaobao had already run down the stairs and plunged into Ningxi's arms. Mommy, the little guy was usually cold and indifferent to others. Although he could speak now, he was no different from before. When Ningxi was not around, he might not say a word for a day, but every time Ningxi appeared, he would definitely call her Mommy sweetly. Moreover, he would always say Mommy to Ningxi, which made people's hearts melt. If someone who didn't know better saw this, they would never doubt that this was a pair of mother and son who had a very good relationship. Bag, look what Mommy has brought for you. Hee. Ningxi opened the bag that she brought over. There were all kinds of guns inside. Of course, they were all toy guns. You're still too young to play with real guns. Mommy will play with you with a water gun. Okay? Okay, Mommy. Xiaobao likes water guns. Go and ask Daddy to play with us. It's more fun with more people. Ningxi winked at Xiaobao. Xiaobao hesitated for a while, then walked to Lu Tingxiao with his short legs. He raised his little head and said expressionlessly, Together. Ningxi didn't know whether to laugh or cry when she saw Little Bun's sudden change in attitude. Little Baozi called him Grandpa, Grandma, and Second Uncle. He even addressed strangers politely. Why didn't you want to call Lu Tingxiao Daddy? Ningxi accompanied Xiaobao to play crazily all afternoon. After dinner, they were tired and finally fell asleep. Lu Tingxiao looked at the adult and child on the bed, his eyes filled with gentleness. Lu Tingxiao leaned over and kissed Xiaobao and Ningxi's foreheads. Then his broad and warm palm moved from Ningxi's eyebrows, eyes, nose, lips, all the way to the girl's flat belly, and gently stroked. Before he met Ningxi, he didn't have any expectations for this life. After he met Ningxi, marriage, family, children, these things that he didn't have any expectations for, became so important to him because he was connected to her when he thought that she was really Xiaobao's biological mother, and that this girl he loved to the bone might have given birth to a child for him. His chest was filled with indescribable gratitude and happiness. Child. His and her child. Chapter 1442. At the same time, a little koi fish in the villa across the street was almost suffering from a nervous breakdown. Although it had only been a few hours, it was undoubtedly the cruelest torture in history for him to keep such a big secret without being able to read it. Just when Lu Jingli couldn't bear it any longer and was about to reach for the paternity test report, his brother finally called. Lu Tingxiao said, Come here. As soon as he heard his brother's call, Lu Jingli immediately ran as fast as he could in the 100-meter race in school. Of course, this time it was his brother who called him. Lu Jingli was really frightened by Ningxi in the afternoon, so he sneaked in after he was sure that no one was nearby. Brother, is little Cece asleep? Lu Jingli held the door and asked in a low voice. He was out of breath from running. Yes. Oh. Lu Jingli quietly closed the door of the study room and locked it from the inside. Only then did he feel relieved and walked over while wiping his sweat. Lu Tingxiao's eyes fell on the black briefcase in Lu Jingli's hand. Lu Jingli carefully unzipped the briefcase and took out a report from it. Then he put it in front of Lu Tingxiao's desk. It was a thin piece of paper, but it seemed to weigh 1,000 pounds. In fact, until now, Lu Jingli still didn't feel it was real, because this thing was really too unbelievable. Lu Jingli waited for a long time and saw that Lu Tingxiao didn't want to read it. He nervously swallowed and asked, Brother, Is there a problem? At this moment, Lu Tingxiao's expression changed as if the thing in front of him controlled his life and death. After a long time, Lu Tingxiao still didn't touch the report, so Lu Jingli tentatively said, "Brother, in fact, I really think you're thinking too much. How could you be that animal? This appraisal report will definitely prove your innocence. Even if you don't want to read it, at least let me have a look. No matter what, I almost died to get it back. I won't tell you after reading it, okay?" Seeing that Lu Tingxiao didn't speak, Lu Jingli said as he touched the report on the table, "I read it. I really read it. I promise I won't tell you after reading it unless you ask." After Lu Jingli finished speaking, he picked up the report like a hungry wolf pouncing on its prey and directly scanned to the last line. The above gene loci all followed the Mendelian law of inheritance and could be used jointly for paternity identification. Based on the test results of the above 19 STR loci, it could be seen that Ningxi's genes met the genetic conditions of being Lu Qingyu's biological mother. The probability of their paternity was calculated to be 999,999. According to the DNA analysis, Ningxi was Lu Qingyu's biological mother. When Lu Jingli saw the last line of words, even though Lu Tingxiao didn't personally read the report and Lu Jingli didn't say a word, he knew Lu Jingli too well. Even from Lu Jingli's expression, he already knew the answer to the report. Ningxi was really Xiaobao's biological mother. "Brother, why are you looking at me? I didn't say anything, but your eyes were already full of, my God. Little Cici is Xiaobao's biological mother. Little Cici's beast that night was really her biological brother." Chapter 1443. Originally, Lu Jingli had always thought that after the paternity test results came out and ruled out the suspicion of his biological brother, he could set out to find the real beast without any scruples. In the end, when he saw the results of the appraisal, he felt as if he had been smashed by lightning and reconstructed again. At this moment, Lu Jingli was in disbelief. He looked at Lu Tingxiao as if he was looking at a god. "I always thought that your progress was too slow. You haven't even slept with Cici since you started dating her. I never thought that not only did you sleep with her, but your child is already 5 years old. You don't even help my grandmother cross the road. I'm impressed. I don't dare to say that you don't know how to pick up girls anymore. You are my idol, my superstar, and my life coach." Lu Jingli spoke quickly, without a single punctuation mark in between. After that, it didn't stop. As if it had been injected with a vat of chicken blood, it kept running in circles in the room, unable to stop. Oh my God. If my baby knew about this, he would be so happy that he would go crazy. Little Cici was really his mother. She was his biological mother. Had the bitterness finally come to an end? Our Xiaobao's luck is simply heaven-defying, isn't it? Lu Tingxiao pinched the space between his eyebrows and reached out to his noisy younger brother. Lu Jingli, who was so excited that he almost bit the table, came back to his senses and obediently handed over the report with both hands. Lu Tingxiao took the report, and his sharp eyes scanned the contents of the report without missing a single word. Even though Lu Jingli had already indirectly told her the result, when she actually saw the words, "I support Ningxi as Lu Qingyu's biological mother," with her own eyes, her heart still shook violently. Obviously, the intensity of a certain demon king's inner drama was no less than that of the little koi. It was her. If he had known it was her, he would have investigated it 5 years ago. That way, he would have been able to meet her earlier. In an instant, countless thoughts flashed through Lu Tingxiao's mind. Lu Jingli rambled on for a long time, carefully observing Lu Tingxiao's expression. Then he stuttered, "Brother, look. Even though I was the one who came up with the wicked idea back then, I was the one who gave you the drug, I was the one who chose the location, I was the one who caused you to turn into a monster." Lu Jingli muttered, But by a freak accident, the person who slept with you was actually little Cici. Not only did you keep your chastity, your first time, your baby, in short, you gave your heart and soul to little Cici and belonged to little Cici. Such an exciting and joyous event. Does this count as my merits offsetting my demerits? Lu Jingli snuck a peek at his brother and mumbled shamelessly, "Actually, I think I deserve more credit." Humph, humph. Even if he didn't want to, he still had to. If his brother didn't relent, he would go to Xiaobao to back him up. If Xiaobao knew about this, he would definitely support him. In the future, he would be Little Treasure's favorite, the #1 hero. Lu Tingxiao's cold eyes casually glanced at Lu Jingli. He had to admit that Lu Jingli's words just now had hit the nail on the head. When he confirmed that, the woman who slept with him was Ningxi, he had to admit his heart was filled with unprecedented joy and joy. Chapter 1444. After the incident 5 years ago, there was still some animosity between him and Lu Jingli. In addition, Lu Jingli had a guilty conscience and had always been afraid of him. He was especially afraid of mentioning the incident 5 years ago. It was only because of Ningxi that the incident of that year was brought to the surface again. But now, Lu Tingxiao looked at his silly brother and inexplicably felt that he seemed to be quite pleasing to the eye. Brother. Lu Jingli was a little scared by his brother's unusual gaze. Ahem. Brother, don't be silent. It's scary, oh. Oh no. Was his brother going to kill him to keep him quiet? Otherwise, why did his gaze suddenly become so gentle? This was the last bit of gentleness. Lu Jingli hurriedly said, Brother, in fact, I don't think it's a big deal even if little Cece knows about this. Although little Cece must hate that person to the bone and want to kill him, if that person is you, everything will be different. Little Cece likes you so much. Lu Tingxiao's eyes darkened when he heard Lu Jingli's words. He had thought of this before. In fact, he had always comforted himself like this. However, Lu Jingli had never heard or seen with his own eyes the scene of Ning, she desperately recalling that incident in his arms, word by word, sentence by sentence. It was like a knife torturing his heart. Damn it, Lu Jingli had given him too much medicine that year. He only had some vague memories at the beginning. He only knew that a woman came in and took the initiative to approach him, but he was completely unclear about what happened after that. He actually did it to the point where Ning, she was covered in cuts and bruises, had a high fever, and even lay in bed for 2 months. He didn't dare to continue thinking about it. Ning, she had always said that he was her sunshine, but in the blink of an eye, he had become the source of all her darkness. How was he going to tell her the cruel truth? How would she react when she found out the truth? Even if Lu Tingxiao was a master strategist in the business world, he couldn't have predicted this result. He couldn't even predict whether he could bear such a result at that time. What kind of person was Lu Jingli? He rolled his eyes and immediately realized something. His handsome little face turned red, and he said shyly, Ahem, brother, is it because you were too brave that night? You tortured little Cece a little miserably. That's why you don't dare to say it. As soon as he finished speaking, his brother's cold gaze swept over him. Oh my God! Lu Jingli immediately trembled and stopped talking. After a long while, he said with a sad face, Okay, it's my fault. I shouldn't have given you such a large dose of medicine. But you always look like you're cold. I was forced into a corner by my parents. I had no choice. Lu Tingxiao looked at the paternity test report over and over again. Half of it was spring, and the other half was winter. After a long time, he finally said, I will tell her, but not now. Wait until everything is clear from the beginning to the end. Why was Ningxi the person at that time? Why did the dead baby become Xiaobao? There must be someone in the know. Of course, what was more important was that when he and Ningxi just entered the sweetest period of their relationship, they were suddenly hit by such a thing without any warning. He himself was not prepared and was confused. How could he dare to tell her? Naturally, he had to wait for everything to be foolproof. Chapter 1445. After Lu Jingli left, Lu Tingxiao read the paternity test report over and over again, and then put it away solemnly. He gently pushed open the door of Ningxi's bedroom. The soft, warm yellow night light cast a gentle and quiet light on the mother and son on the bed, softening his heart. Lu Tingxiao gently sat on the edge of the bed and tucked a strand of the girl's hair behind her ear. The girl was sleeping soundly with Xiao Bao in her arms. She didn't have any makeup on, so her face looked a little young and tender. Yes, she was just at the age of ordinary girls who had just graduated from college. She was only 18 years old when she was pregnant with Xiao Bao. She was just a child at that time, but she had to face such a big thing all at once, not to mention the things that happened later. If it were someone who was not mentally strong, he would have either completely collapsed or been unable to get up, and he also saw from the information that Lu Jingli found that Ningxi did try to commit suicide at that time. At the thought of this, Lu Tingxiao felt an indescribable fear, and his heart ached. He had never had such a strong desire to hold her, to integrate her into his body. So, Lu Tingxiao quietly carried Ningxi to his master bedroom. Although Lu Tingxiao's movements were very gentle, she was still startled when he put Ningxi on the bed. Because she was surrounded by Lu Tingxiao's reassuring and familiar scent, Ningxi was not vigilant at all. She opened her eyes in a daze and found that she was carried to the master bedroom by Lu Tingxiao. She didn't feel anything wrong at all. She rubbed against the man's neck like a cat. "Oh, sweetheart, Lu Tingxiao didn't withdraw his hand from the back of Ningxi's neck. He let her use it as a pillow and then lay down beside her. Ningxi spontaneously rolled into the man's arms. "Why are you still up so late? I missed you. I dreamed of you." Listening to the man's hoarse and deep voice that could make her ears pregnant, Ningxi's heart was full of sweetness when he said that he missed her and dreamed of her even though she was just next door. She opened her watery eyes with a smile. That pair of eyes were like stars, unbelievably beautiful. Coupled with that lazy, half-asleep, half-awake look, it was so seductive that it made one's blood boil. At this moment, Ningxi's bad habit of flirting with people acted up again. She lazily half-opened her eyes and looked at the man beside her. "Did you dream of me? Wearing clothes or not wearing clothes?" In an instant, the man's eyes darkened. The moment Ningxi's voice fell, he fiercely and forcefully kissed Ningxi. Ningxi's neck was tickled. She laughed as she dodged. Ticklish, Lu Tingxiao's lips and teeth nibbled on the girl's collarbone and the skin below. He raised his lustful eyes slightly and looked at the smile in the girl's eyes, as well as the trust and love she had for him. His heart softened into a complete mess. When they first met, he found that Ningxi was very repulsive to the relationship between men and women. When he couldn't control his feelings for her, he even pretended to be sleepwalking to get close to her. But now, the little lass didn't feel uncomfortable in front of him at all. She had even gotten used to his presence and his closeness. This realization made Lu Tingxiao's heart overflow with emotion and satisfaction. At the same time, there were naturally hidden worries. Chapter 1446. This knowledge made Lu Tingxiao's heart overflow with gratitude and satisfaction. But at the same time, there was naturally a hidden worry. However, just as the worry appeared on his face, he was interrupted. The door creaked open, and he saw Xiao Bao standing angrily at the door with puffed cheeks. His little face had an expression that said, "You're too despicable. You stole my mama again." Lu Tingxiao found it funny and waved at his son. "Come here." The little guy was obviously a little reluctant, but when he saw his mama, he couldn't care less and immediately ran over. It was a little difficult for his short legs to climb onto the bed. Lu Tingxiao chuckled and scooped his son up, then placed him in the middle. Ningxi immediately forgot about her father when she had son. She sweetly hugged Xiao Bao and kissed him. Xiao Bao also hugged his mama and looked warily at his papa behind him. Lu Tingxiao raised his brows and looked at his son thoughtfully. He suddenly felt an inexplicable sense of anticipation. If the little guy knew that Ningxi was his biological mother and that he was born from Ningxi, how would he react? In the next few days, ever since Ningxi's condition recovered, the progress of the entire crew began to soar. It was worth mentioning that almost every time Ningxi acted, there would be a few NGs. ranging from 3 to 5 to more than 10. And almost every time, it was because of Meng Shi. Although the final results were extraordinarily good, it was easy to see who was better between Ning Shi and Meng Shi's acting skills. She didn't know if it was because Ning Shi had taken a video of her being more cautious, but Meng Shi actually didn't cause trouble for her again. Instead, she was abnormally well-behaved. Ning Shi was naturally happy with the peace and quiet. Except for the first time, when she deliberately suppressed Meng Shi's scenes, she acted very seriously afterwards. However, once she got serious, her acting skills would naturally soar. If Meng Shi couldn't keep up and couldn't suppress her, many of the plot effects wouldn't come out. Every day, Meng Shi had to use all her strength just to keep up with Ning Shi and suppress her. As for Guoqixing, seeing how hard the two female leads were working, he naturally couldn't ask for more. Even when she was acting with Xianxia, Ning Shi could already be as calm as still water and call him daddy. But today's scene with Lu Tingxiao really made Ning Shi a little nervous. Oh, that's right. It's finally time for the bed scene between Yun Huang and Lu Yan. The plot of this scene was that Yun Huang had been poisoned by aphrodisiac. Originally, she wanted to find her sweetheart, Ling Xiao, to cure the poison. She wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to sleep with him. However, she did not expect to see Ling Xiao confessing his love to Leng Aoxue. Furthermore, he was so nervous that he wanted to distance himself from Yun Huang in front of Leng Aoxue. Yun Huang left the back mountain of Xuanji Palace in anguish. She dragged her body, which had been tormented by the aphrodisiac, to the point of almost going berserk, and walked muddle-headedly into the dangerous demonic beast forest. At this moment, secret guard Lu Yin appeared. What followed next was an erotic bed scene between the two of them in the cave. Roar. I'm so nervous. Ning Shi covered her face with her hands, looking shy. She hadn't even slept with a great demon king in real life. Never in a million years would he have thought that his first time would be in a movie. Jiang Mai's face darkened when he saw Ning Shi's expression. She was obviously looking forward to it, but she was still trying to act cute. In fact, after seeing today's schedule, his expression had not been good. Damn it, this was really karma. Back then, it was Lu Tingxiao who saw him and Ning Shi acting in an intimate scene. In the blink of an eye, it was his turn to see Ning Shi and Lu Tingxiao acting in an intimate scene. And it was a bed scene, but Jiang Mai couldn't help but look in a few different directions. It seemed like there were people who had a worse reaction than him. Chapter 1447. Ning Shi, Mingyu, come here. Let me explain the scene to you. Guoqixing beckoned them over. Are you familiar with the script? Ning Shi and Mingyu nodded together. Not only do you need to be familiar with it, but you also need to understand it. This scene is a very important turning point in Yun Huang's relationship. It focuses on the change of the character's mentality and personality, not on how erotic the sex scenes are. We're a serious crew. We don't need to rely on sex scenes to attract attention, and we don't need to be so explicit. So remember, when you're filming later, you must treat it with a professional attitude, and you must control the scale. Do you understand? Guoqixing looked a little strict when he said this, and he focused on Mingyu. In the past, there had been male actors who took advantage of female actors in intimate scenes, especially popular and beautiful Ning Shi, who was more likely to encounter such things. Because Guoqixing was protective of Ning Shi, he naturally had to warn Mingyu so that he knew what to do and what not to do. Understood. Mingyu nodded. Yes, yes. Ning Shi also echoed. Sigh, this scene really tested her professionalism. The director's warning was right. You two have already worked together in Dream Seeker before, so you can save time. Let's try to get it done in one shot. Remember what I said just now? I want the effect to reflect the character's inner struggle. I want the connotation. I want it to be erotic, but not obscene. Guoqixing said worriedly for a while before finally letting them go to prepare. Not long after Ning Shi and Mingyu left, Xianxia strolled up to Guoqixing. Director Xianxia, what's the matter? Your scenes for today are over, right? Yes, I think Ningxi and Kumingyu's part in the next scene is a little inappropriate, Xianxia said with a cold face. Jiangmai had been staring at Xianxia for a long time. Seeing this, he immediately straightened his back and pricked up his ears. Oh, finally someone couldn't help it. That was great. He didn't need to do anything. Jiangmai was still thinking about the artificial rain and the many intimate scenes that were cut during the filming of The World, but he didn't dare to take revenge. Oh? What's wrong? Guo Qixing immediately asked. Guo Qixing was a director who was good at listening to other people's opinions. Xianxia's status in the crew was no less than the male lead, so Guo Qixing valued his opinions quite a bit. No matter what, Yin Huang is still one of the female leads, but she has a relationship with someone other than the male lead. Many viewers are especially afraid of this kind of plot. Director Guo, are you sure that this plot won't ruin Yin Huang's image and even the entire plot when it's broadcasted? Xianxia put on a serious expression that said, I'm doing this for the sake of the crew. I have absolutely no selfish motives. Guo Qixing pondered for a moment. When this novel was first serialized, this was indeed the most controversial part of the plot. Many readers expressed that they couldn't accept Yin Huang being with someone other than the male lead. Xianxia immediately said, so, when we're adapting it into a movie, shouldn't we make some changes to the plot? Changes? Even if we arrange for the second male lead to be with Yin Huang, the effect will definitely be better than Lu Yan. Although the second male lead, Nangong Chun, and Yin Huang are sworn enemies in the series, their relationship is actually quite ambiguous towards the end. Many readers are optimistic about this pair. Wouldn't it be better to directly change it to a love-hate couple? Xianxia calmly guided. Chapter 1448. Jiangmai, who was at the side, cursed when he heard this. Xianxia was too treacherous. He actually wanted to take the opportunity to pair the female lead and the supporting male lead together. The male lead, haven't even spoken yet. Guo Qixing could understand why Xianxia made this suggestion. This change was also very beneficial to him. By then, his role and status would be similar to the male leads. Changing the plot into two couples was actually quite substantial. It wasn't that he hadn't thought about it before, but considering the needs of the fans of the original novel, he tried not to make too many changes to the plot. Another important reason was, without waiting for Guo Qixing to speak, Ningxi leisurely strolled over and glanced at Guo Qixing. Teacher Mo, you're wrong. Only when there's controversy will there be something interesting to talk about. When the novel was serialized, this part of the plot caused a war in the book review section. It was a hot topic. After it was made into a movie, many readers who were dissatisfied with the male protagonist were looking forward to this part of the plot. As long as it's handled well, this part of the plot will be enjoyable. Moreover, Yin Huang's character has always been free and unrestrained. Not to mention secular etiquette. Even heavenly rules are just bullshit in her eyes. Would she care about things like chastity? Aren't you being too narrow-minded about the female lead's perspective? The original ending of this drama was that Yin Huang had lost her heart many times until she saw through everything. She let go of the feelings that bound her and returned to her true self. She would forget about the male lead and travel the world with her sword. This is Yin Huang. When she loves you, she will be dead set on you and even give up her life. When she doesn't love you, you are nothing. But now you've changed it into a fight with the supporting male lead. Changing Yin Huang's image like this is really going to collapse. Teacher Mo, don't you agree? Ningxi's words were reasonable. Xianxia's face darkened and he couldn't say a word. He could only grit his teeth and stare at her. You? Ningxi looked back at him unhurriedly. Haha, how dare you spoil my plans? I'll beat you to death. Seeing that the tension between the two leading actors was getting heavier and that they were about to quarrel, Guo Qixing hurried over to smooth things over. All right, I'm glad that you guys are discussing the plot so seriously, but this plot, let's follow the original novel. I forgot to tell you, in this scenario, it's fine to change the small details, but the main plot cannot be changed at all. Why? Xianxia frowned. Not far away, One of the cold-faced bodyguards trembled as he walked to the white-haired man and whispered something in his ear. Then Yunxin's expression instantly turned cold. A drop of cold sweat slid down the bodyguard's forehead. "I'm sorry, boss. I've checked. Lu Enterprises bought the copyright of this movie. They demanded that the crew not change a single word of the main plot, or they'll take back the copyright. Lu Group?" At this moment, Xianxia had already heard about the same thing from Wuxia. He immediately frowned. He couldn't figure out why Lu Enterprises would buy a script for no reason. "I've only heard of investment. I've never heard of paying for a script and letting you shoot it. There's no benefit at all, right? Could it be that the higher-ups were loyal readers of this novel and wanted to fulfill their feelings?" Ningxi blinked and glanced at Kumingyu in surprise. "Jiang, I was completely speechless. Damn, you're ruthless." "My uncle actually controlled the script from the beginning. Others did the first part, but he did it all in one fell swoop." Chapter 1449. After a few twists and turns, the scene finally began, shooting smoothly. Today's scenes were all in the indoor studio. The entire studio was decorated to look like a primeval forest with a strong magical aura. Of course, this was only the initial layout and would be refined with computer special effects later on. 3-1. Lights, rain, get ready. The moment the clappers sounded, Ningxi, who was standing in the middle of the forest, instantly got into character. It was late autumn, and the cold rain was like a knife cutting through her body. But none of this made her feel as painful as the scene she had seen not long ago. She was a little devil when she was young and grew up to be a big devil. She did everything for her own pleasure and never took anything to heart. She had never felt like this before. All her attention was moved by one person. Ningxi's flame-like red dress is soaked by the rain. Together with the silk, it sticks to her body. She covers her dantian, which is about to explode, and stumbles towards an unknown place. The rain that fell on her was bone-chilling, but the inside of her body was like a ball of fire because of the aphrodisiac. Finally, she couldn't hold on any longer, and her body swayed and fell forward. The moment she fell to the ground, a black figure swept past like the wind and helped her up. "Master." The person in her arms was boiling hot and unconscious. Luyan didn't have time to think and quickly carried her to a cave not far away to shelter from the rain. There was no storyboard for this scene. The cameraman stepped on a cart and was pushed to follow the two of them to the cave. Lu Yin placed Yun Huang on the dry grass in the cave and reached out to feel her pulse. The next second, her calm eyes suddenly became turbulent. Aphrodisiac. There was no cure, only intercourse, otherwise she would go berserk and explode. But with his respect for Yun Huang, he would never do such a disgraceful thing to her. Guo Qixing nodded repeatedly. This Kumingyu's acting was actually very good. All the struggle was expressed with just one look. At this moment, Yun Huang woke up. Ningxi opened her eyes and looked at the person in front of her in a daze. Lu Yin asked, "Master, how do you feel?" Seeing that Yun Huang didn't speak, Lu Yin immediately got up. The moment he left, a cold voice came from behind him. "Where are you going?" Lu Yin said, "I'll find the antidote for you." The so-called antidote was just a man. Yun Huang. With a low chuckle, Lu Yan's belt was hooked by a slightly wet finger and pulled back forcefully. Lu Yan was caught off guard and fell to the ground. She supported herself with one arm in front of the man. Her expression was different from the numb and cold expression just now. At this moment, her entire body was full of seductive charm. Her voice was also captivating. Antidote, aren't you doing this?" The three people who were watching the bed scene unfold before their eyes. The staff, who suddenly felt the temperature in the studio plummet, crack. At this moment, Guo Qixing suddenly shouted for them to stop. Jiang Mai instantly felt that his heart, which had been lifted to the clouds, fell to the ground. It was simply too exciting. After the director shouted cut, Ningxi and Kumingyu stood up one after another and temporarily stopped the shooting. Chapter 1450. Guo Qixing frowned and walked up to them. After thinking for a while, he said, "Ningxi, you don't look right." You just saw your sweetheart confess his love to another woman and draw a line with you. You were heartbroken and desperate. Although you were controlled by the aphrodisiac when you seduced Lu Yin, you were actually very sober, and your eyes should be beautiful and charming. But just now you were too natural, weren't you? Ahem. Ningxi coughed and touched her nose. It's my fault. I'll be careful. After talking to Ning, Guo Qixing went to talk to Kamingyu. So Guo Qixing didn't hear Ning. She whispered when she turned her back on him. Oh no, I was too excited and couldn't control myself. Guo Qixing didn't hear her words, but the three who were resting next to her all heard them. Yinshin Jiang my Xianxia. Damn, what did he hear? He seemed to have found out something incredible. He had been observing Ning Shi for so many days, but still couldn't find anything. Was Ning Shi's man? Kamingyu. Mingyu, your part is basically fine, but the rest of the scenes are the key. Don't relax. Guo Qixing was talking to Kamingyu when Ning Shi suddenly thought of a question. She walked over and asked, Director Guo, when we kiss later, should I kiss him for real or fake? Hearing this question, the three vomited blood again. Even Lu Tingxiao coughed lightly. Guo Qixing thought for a while. Well, how about, he was about to say that they could fake the scene like they did in the last film, but Ningxi didn't wait for him to speak. She said with a professional expression, Director Guo, I think we should do it for real. After all, Yunhuang's character is different from Meng Chang's. If we fake it, we can't show Yunhuang's character and the effect we want to convey to the audience. Since Ning she had agreed to sacrifice herself, Guo Qixing couldn't have asked for more. At the same time, he was moved by Ning she's professionalism and patted her on the shoulder encouragingly. Okay, thanks for your hard work. Not far away, Jiang Mai almost broke the frame of his sunglasses. Damn, this little bastard is so shameless. When he was filming with him, whether it was the kissing scene or the sex scene, they were all faked. But now that it was his uncle's turn, he actually wanted to do it for real. Director, wake up. Wake up. This bastard is playing favoritism. All right, if there's no problem, let's continue. Don't touch the front part. Just start from the part inside the cave. After Guo Qixing finished speaking, he began to inform the departments to get ready again. 3, 2, 1. Begin, Cloud Phoenix asked. Where are we going? Lu Yin said, I'll find the antidote for you. Yin Huang replied, antidote? Aren't you doing this? As she spoke, Yin Huang's fair fingers dripped with water droplets from Lu Yan's chin and collarbone, all the way to her collar, before hooking it open. Master, you can't. Lu Yan's emotionless eyes seemed to crack at this moment. It was as if Yin Huang had been poked in her sore spot. Her expression changed abruptly, and her face was instantly tainted with an earth-shattering, murderous aura. Her fingers pinched the man's lower jaw forcefully. What? Even you dare to refuse me? She vented all her anger on the person in front of her, because she knew that no matter how she treated the person in front of her, he would never leave. Chapter 1451. I wouldn't dare. Lu Yin immediately lowered her hands respectfully, but her body was as taut as a bow. That's a good girl. Yin Huang was like a devil trying to coax an ignorant young girl. Her tone instantly became gentle, and her brows were filled with allure. Even a saint would not be able to control himself. Finally, she bent down and slowly covered the man's lips. The moment Yin Huang closed her eyes and kissed Lu Yin, a tear fell from her eye. The expression on the girl's face when she closed her eyes was enough to break anyone's heart. It turned out that her arrogance and wickedness were just a protective shell that would break at a single touch. It turned out that this female devil was also sincere. Guo Qixing held the script and clapped his hands excitedly. He held his breath and continued to watch without making a sound. Next was a close-up of Lu Yan. Lu Yan's image in the play was a humanoid weapon. She had no emotions, and the only emotion she had was loyalty to her master. However, at this moment, the moment his master's lips fell, the man's snow-white eyes suddenly lit up with a raging flame. Something hidden in his bones and blood quietly broke out of its cage like a wild beast. It was a feeling that Lu Yin had buried deep in her heart. Other than loyalty to her master, she knew that she shouldn't have, but couldn't control herself. Lu Yin, who had never come into contact with it, didn't know what it was. But at this moment, she suddenly understood. This scene was not only the turning point of Yun Huang's feelings, but also Lu Yan's. Of course, Lu Yin was just a small supporting character, and his scenes were insignificant. But after Ku Mingyu's performance, no one would ignore him. Instead, they couldn't help but question his feelings for Yun Huang. At this moment, Yun Huang's toxicity suddenly flared up. Her face revealed a pained expression. Finally, Lu Yin moved. The man turned over and carefully placed his master under him. His fingers paused at his master's waist for a second. Then the next moment, he resolutely reached over and untied his master's belt. Ouch, fuck. Xianxia stared at the opposite side without blinking. He didn't even realize that the cigarette in his hand had burned his fingers, causing him to cry out in pain. Fuck this. Why the hell did he have to sit here and watch his ex-girlfriend and his uncle's bed scene? Why the hell? Wasn't he just looking for trouble? But he just couldn't move his feet. The fiery red clothes peeled off layer by layer like flower petals. All the onlookers tensed up and subconsciously swallowed their saliva because of the erotic scene that was about to happen. However, at this moment, Lu Yan's gaze was as sharp as a knife as she looked straight in the direction of the cave entrance. With a sound, Lu Yan's fingers moved slightly, and a small stone was thrown toward the pile of vines at the side. Voila! The vines instantly covered the entrance of the cave, covering the entire room. Everyone was dumbfounded. This was different from what was written in the script. However, after pondering for a moment, Guo Qixing's eyes lit up, and he signaled the cameraman to continue filming. There were gaps between the vines, and the people outside could only vaguely see the situation inside. Ningxi and Ku Mingyu inside could not see Guo Qixing's prompt, so they could only do whatever they wanted. I'm free to do as I please, of course. Ningxi couldn't ask for more. After holding it in for so long, she was about to die. She immediately took the opportunity to hug the Demon King's neck and gave him a solid kiss. She lowered her voice and said, "Sweetheart, you're so amazing. That small stone was so accurate." Chapter 1452. Lu Tingxiao's face changed slightly. How could she say so awesome to him at this time? This little girl was simply audacious to the extreme. "Hey, sweetheart, what position do you like?" "Oh, with Yun Huang's personality. I think this position is better." As Ningxi spoke, she turned around and pressed Lu Tingxiao back down. Then, her fine black hair hung down as she slowly kissed the man's thin lips. Lu Tingxiao no longer suppressed himself. He held the girl's head and kissed her back forcefully. Outside the cave, everyone was so anxious that they were about to vomit blood. What the hell was this? It was so torturous. Although they knew that everything inside was fake, this feeling of half covering one's face was 100 times more seductive than being seen clearly. Looking at the ambiguous and charming movement inside through the vines, Xianxia felt as if he had suffered 10,000 points of damage. These two people were simply insane. Xianxia's face was extremely ugly. He stood up and left immediately. Then, he heard a crack. Xianxia felt that he seemed to have heard a familiar sound of a teacup shattering. He carefully looked to the side. Okay, Yun Huang's father's teacup had indeed broken. This scene would be inserted with about 30 seconds of music and memories, so Guo Qixing didn't stop it until 30 seconds later. Cut! It's over. A moment later, Ningxi and Ku Mingyu came out from inside. Both of them were neatly dressed, as if the flirtatious scene just now was an illusion. "Hey, it's over? Director Guo, are you sure?" Ningxi asked hurriedly. Yes. Don't worry, the scene just now was perfect. Both you and Ku Mingyu performed very well." Guo Qixing was generous with his praise. In the face of Guo Qixing's praise, Ningxi rarely felt happy. Instead, she felt a little regretful. Oh, okay. It was rare for her to shoot an intimate scene with the devil, but she actually passed in one go. What a waste. What a mistake. Guo Qixing looked at Ning-Shi strangely. Why did he feel that there was something wrong with this girl's reaction? But he couldn't figure out what was wrong, so he could only shake his head and continue to prepare for the next scene. The next scene was Ning-Shi, Ke Mingyu, and Yunshin's scenes. The plot of this scene was that after Yun Sitian found out about his daughter and Lu Yin, he flew into a rage and wanted to kill Lu Yin. It's also quite explosive. Jiang might force himself to stay, despite his serious injuries, just to continue watching the show between the three of them. At first, Guo Qixing was quite worried about the big boss. After a few contacts, he accidentally found that Yunshin's acting skills were actually quite good, so he was much more relieved now. After saying a few words to the three of them, he shouted to start. All departments, get ready. Action! Yun Sitian stood on the opposite side and looked at his daughter and the black-clothed secret guard beside her. His expression didn't change, but the aura around him and the feeling he gave off completely changed in a second. That oppressive might was like an entire mountain that blotted out the sky and covered the earth as it pressed down on the two of them. That gaze that could make one's soul tremble was definitely 1,000 times better than directly flying into a rage. Even the staff at the scene didn't dare to make a sound. It was too scary. Swish. Yinshun waved his sleeve forcefully, and Ke Mingyu bit the blood sac in his mouth. His body swayed, and he made a gesture of vomiting blood. Yun Sitian's expression became more and more gloomy, and he approached Lu Yin step by step like the god of death. Yin Huang immediately jumped out and stopped in front of Yun Sitian. "Father, what are you doing?" "He touched you." "Father, wait. Father, can you be more reasonable? It was clearly me who forced him to sleep with me." "Father, why did you hit him for no reason?" Ning-Shi said "father" very quickly. Yunshin was stunned. Chapter 1453. Tang Shi. An angry roar sounded. "Huh? Who's Tang Shi?" Yunshin seemed to have called the wrong name. Guo Qixing had to say cut. Seeing that Yunshin was so angry with Ning-Shi, Jiang Mai felt greatly comforted. Even a scheming monster like Yunshin, with a terrible background, could be so angry with Ning-Shi. He was really nothing. At the same time, Jiang Mai looked at Yunshin and suddenly remembered who he was. Tang Shi. Not many people knew the name Ning-Shi. In addition to that head of white hair, when he was abroad, he knew that Ning-Shi often disappeared for a long period of time, and he didn't know what she was doing. Occasionally, he saw her with a group of people who seemed to have special backgrounds. Among them, he had a deep impression of a curly hair, a gold-rimmed glasses, and a seemingly white-haired man. Because he had seen Ning-Shi in men's clothes, he recognized her at that time. Was Yunshin that white-haired man? It seemed that the relationship between Yunshin and Ning-Shi was not simple. At this time, some staff members and extras were whispering in low voices. "What should I do? I'm a loyal fan of Yunshin, but why do I suddenly fall in love with Yin Huang and Lu Yin after watching 2 scenes? In fact, I've always been a fan of Brother Shi and Ke Mingyu. When I watched Dream Seekers, I fell in love with Ji Feishu and Lin Yu, although they are quite unpopular." "Haha, what are you talking about? Do you think I'm a fan of Yin Huang and Yun Sitian? Am I hallucinating? I also feel that Yun Sitian looks at Yin Huang in a different way." Jiang Mai thought, "Stupid human beings, it's not Yun Sitian who looks at Yin Huang in a different way. It's Yunshin who looks at Ning-Shi in a different way, okay?" After a short break, the shooting began again. The scene of Ning-Shi, Ke Mingyu, and Yunshin was shot 5 times in a row. Finally, it was over. Ning-Shi hummed a little song. She was in a good mood, and her body and mind were at ease. In the bathroom, Lu Tingxiao walked out from inside. As soon as he walked outside, he saw a person leaning against the bright wall opposite him. The man's white hair covered the faint scar on his brow, and he held a cigarette in his hand. When he saw Lu Tingxiao, he looked up and said with a half-smile, "President Lu, you're in such a good mood." Although his identity was exposed, Lu Tingxiao did not show any reaction on his face. He just looked at the man expressionlessly and said, "Same here." On the other side, Jiang Mai was in a hurry to pee. Just when he was about to go to the washroom, he saw the two gods standing at the door of the washroom. He immediately braked and hid in the corner. Then, he heard the conversation between the two. How did Yunxian recognize Lu Tingxiao? His eyes were really sharp. Also, can the two of you stop talking about each other? Both of you are so bored. All of them didn't want to go to their own companies to be domineering CEOs. Instead, they all came to this production team to fight for jobs with him. Jiang Mai thought to himself, let's fight. It would be best if the two of them fought. In this way, he could benefit from the fight between the crane and the clam. Even if he couldn't benefit from it, he would be happy to watch the show. Yunxian glanced at Lu Tingxiao and was about to speak when he glanced at the corner of his eye. It seemed that he had noticed someone hiding there. So he smiled and turned away leisurely. Chapter 1454. At a high-class wedding dress styling club in the capital. A finger wearing a white lace glove lifted the curtain, and Ning Xiuluo appeared in front of everyone in a pure white wedding dress. Exclamations could be heard from outside the curtain. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Miss Ning, this wedding dress suits you so well. Mr. Su has the best taste. This dress suits Mrs. Su the best. A clever shop assistant changed the way she addressed Ning Xiuluo to Mrs. Su. At this moment, Su Yin was standing there in a custom-made suit that was tailored to his body. When he saw Ning Xiuluo walk out in her wedding dress, a stunned expression flashed across his face. Ning Xiuluo was obviously very satisfied with the man's reaction. She stood there gracefully and asked shyly, Brother Yin, do I look good? Su Yan's expression was gentle. Yes. Ning Xiuluo looked happy and snuggled into the man's arms. Brother Yin, I can finally be your bride. Do you know how long I've waited for this day? Su Yin looked at the girl in the pure wedding dress, who was as beautiful as a dream, and the girl's expression as if she was looking at the whole world. The distracting thoughts that should not have been in his heart were pushed back to the corner again. He gently stroked the girl's hair. The staff, stylist, and manager were all envious of the couple. Mrs. Su, do you have the matching accessories? Why don't you put them on and see how they look? Okay, thank you. Not all. It's our honor to have you custom-made a wedding dress here, Mrs. Su, the store manager said politely. They had competed with several stores in the capital for a long time to get this dress. Ning Xiuluo's wedding was bound to be the biggest event in the city, and the publicity was better than any advertisement. Then, Ning Xiuluo tried on all the accessories. These accessories were all custom-made by Su Yin from abroad a long time ago. They were unique in the world, especially the crown on his head, which was from the royal family of Country Y. It was bought by a private collector at an auction, and Su Yin bought it at a high price. Compared to the queen crown at the charity dinner last time, although it was not as exaggerated as the 100 million price, the total value of this crown was 60 million, which was twice the actual market price of the queen crown. It was quite shocking. The people around her were all praising her, and Ning Xiuluo's face was filled with happiness. After everything was settled, Ning Xiuluo held Su Yan's arm and said thoughtfully, Brother Yin, I'm going to check the clothes and accessories one last time, and then I'll go to the beauty salon for a spa. You don't have to accompany me. You can go if you have something to do. Okay, honey. Su Yin lowered his head and kissed Ning Xiuluo's lips before he left. Ning Xiuluo looked at the man's slender and straight back. Looking at the man who was about to completely belong to her, her eyes were filled with pride. Heh, a man like this should belong to her. Ning Xiuluo's phone rang while she was discussing some details with the staff. It was Su Yan's mother. Ning Xiuluo frowned. She walked to the balcony and picked up the phone. Hello, Annie Xiuluo. Are you looking at wedding dresses with Su Yin today? Yes, I just finished. Su Yin is busy at the company. Chapter 1455. Are you satisfied? If there's anything you're not satisfied with, just let me know. I'll get them to fulfill all your requests. After all, a wedding is a lifetime event. You can't be sloppy. Annie Su's tone was unusually loving. Hearing Annie Su's tone, Ning Xiuluo knew that she might have something else to say. Her eyes flickered and she quickly said in a flattered tone, "Auntie, I'm very satisfied. Actually, there's really no need to go through so much trouble. As long as I can be with Brother Yin, I don't care about anything else. Marriage is just a formality." "That won't do. You're the eldest daughter-in-law of the Su family. Of course, you can't be wronged. Anyway, as long as you're satisfied," Auntie Su said. As expected, she changed the topic and said, "Xiaola, how's the matter I told you last time? Will the Zhuang family send someone over?" Ning Xiaola's face darkened slightly. She forced herself to speak in a sweet and obedient tone. "Don't worry, Auntie. I made some progress. I'll try my best to invite them. It shouldn't be a problem." Hearing Ning Xiaola's reply, Auntie Su was satisfied. She reminded her a few more times before hanging up. Su Hongguang's illegitimate son, Su Sun, married Zhao Xianxia, the heiress of the Zhao family. The Zhao family had been gaining power recently, and they were becoming more and more of a threat to Su Yan. At this time, Ning Xiaola had made such a huge mistake. She had to make plans for Su Yan's future. Ning Xiaola took a deep breath and took out her phone to make a call. "Did you order the bracelet?" Chong Li's voice came from the other end of the phone. "Yes, I just got it from the store. Should I send it to you now?" "Send it to the beauty salon." "Okay." Ning Xiaola returned to the house after the call. The store manager hurried over and said anxiously, "Mrs. Su, I think we forgot to prepare the bracelet." "It's okay. I'll arrange it myself." "Oh, that's good. Okay." After leaving the bridal dress salon, Ning Xiaola drove to a members-only beauty salon that was frequented by the socialites in the capital. Chongli was already waiting at the door with a small black velvet box in her hand. Seeing Ning Xiaola coming over, she hurriedly handed the box to her. Ning Xiaola opened it and took a look. After making sure that there were no problems, she said, "Is the media ready?" "Don't worry, everything is ready. They've even written the draft in advance. It won't be a problem for them to dominate the trending list for an entire month," Chongli said confidently. Many days ago, the media had already started to hype up the wedding. From Ning Xiaola's wedding dress, ring, crown, to the hotel's dishes and the accompanying gifts. Step by step, they were paving the way for the official wedding day. "All right, you can go back now." Ning Xiaola nodded and entered the beauty salon. Chongli looked suspiciously in the direction where Ning Shui had fallen. She did not understand why Ning Shui had asked her to secretly buy such an expensive bracelet. Weren't the accessories for the wedding prepared by the Su family? The beauty salon that Ning Xiaola worked at was only open to the socialites in the capital. Even though Ning Xiaola was a famous actress, she was not allowed to join. However, she was also the eldest daughter of the Ning family and the future Mrs. Su, so she was able to get a membership. As soon as Ning Xiaola arrived, a familiar shop assistant congratulated her with a smile. "Miss Ning, you're here. I'm here to congratulate you in advance. Congratulations on your wedding. May you be together forever." Chapter 1456. Thank you. In the past few days, Ning Xiaola had obviously gotten used to such congratulations. She thanked them appropriately, and at the same time, she quietly observed her surroundings. Finally, Ning Xiaola's eyes lit up. She saw her target today. Zhuang Ke walked over in high heels and a champagne-colored Zealing premium custom-made suit. Ning Xiaola's eyes dimmed for a moment when she saw the Zealing brand clothes on Zhuang Ke. Then she quickly looked away and pretended not to see her. She put her handbag back in her bag and walked forward. Just as she walked forward, a photo accidentally fell out of her handbag and floated to Zhuang Ke's feet. Zhuang Ke was subconsciously bent down to pick up the photo. When she was about to stop the person in front of her, her expression changed slightly when she saw the photo clearly. The background of this photo seemed to be old, but the photo was refurbished. Most importantly, she knew 4 of the 5 people in the photo. The one in the middle was her grandfather. On his left were her second aunt and third aunt. On the right was her father, and there was another woman. Although the people in the photo looked much younger, she could recognize them with certainty. But who was the strange woman next to her father? Why was she in such a family photo? When Zhuang Ke came to her senses and wanted to stop the person in front of her, Ning Shuo had already walked around the corner. "Hello, may I ask who the lady in front of us is?" Zhuang Ke had to ask the staff beside her. That is Ning Shuo, the eldest daughter of the Ning family. The staff replied enthusiastically. Ning Shuo? Zhuang Ke's expression changed slightly. Xiaoxi's younger sister? She didn't know that she was the adopted daughter of the Ning family until she got to know her better. She knew nothing about the Ning family. But why did Ning Shuo have such a photo? After thinking for a moment, Zhuang Ke said, "Arrange a private room for me and Miss Ning." Okay. After Ning Shuo entered the private room, she lay comfortably on the leather recliner, waiting for the service of the beautician. Zhuang Ke, sure enough, in less than 3 minutes, she heard the sound of high heels. "Miss Ning, you seem to have dropped something." Zhuang Ke handed the photo over and said tentatively. When Ning Shui Luo saw the photo in Zhuang Ke's hand, her expression immediately changed. She nervously took it. "Ah, it's mine. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much." After saying that, he gently stroked the photo in his hand with great care. Zhuang Ke observed Ning Shui's expression and said, "I'm sorry, Miss Ning. May I ask why you have this photo in your hands? Although it's a little presumptuous, the people in this photo are my grandfather, father, second aunt, and third aunt." Ning Shuo looked embarrassed when she heard that. She did not expect Zhuang Ke to see the photo. At the same time, she also confirmed one thing. It seemed that Zhuang Ke did not know that she had an aunt. Ning Shui Luo hesitated for a long time. In the end, she asked the two beauticians who had just walked in to leave. She then looked at Zhuang Ke helplessly and said, "I didn't expect Miss Zhuang to see this photo. Actually, one of the people in the photo is my mother." Chapter 1457. The one next to my father? Zhuang Ke looked surprised. "Yes. How come?" At this point, the two naturally sat down and began to talk. Looking at the photo, Ning Shuo sighed and said, "My mother's name is Zhuang Lingyu." Hearing Ning Shuo say that her mother's surname was Zhuang Ke immediately realized something. Her surname is also Zhuang. "Yes, my mother is the youngest daughter of the Zhuang family," Ning Shuo said. "Why haven't I heard of it before?" Zhuang Ke frowned. Grandpa had a third daughter? She had never heard anyone in the family mention it. Ning Shuo thought about her words and said, "In fact, I didn't know about it at first. I only found out about it when I grew up. Of course, I didn't know the details. I only heard that my mother and my father loved each other, but my grandfather didn't agree because their families didn't match. In order to be with my father, my mother quarreled with my grandfather many times. The misunderstanding and conflict became deeper and deeper. In the end, they broke off their father-daughter relationship. They haven't seen each other for more than 20 years. So, almost no one knows about what happened that year." Speaking of this, Ning Shuiluo's face was full of sadness. "In fact, I know that my mother has always regretted hurting my grandfather's heart and missed our family very much. But my mother was too stubborn and refused to give in first." Speaking of this, Ning Shuo looked at Zhuang Ke with a bitter expression. "I really felt sorry for my mother, so I tried to solve the misunderstanding between my mother and my grandfather. But it was too difficult for me to contact and see my grandfather. So I tried to contact you during that time. Unfortunately, I didn't expect that I would miss the chance to talk to you because of some small misunderstanding." Ning Shuiluo's words were undoubtedly alluding to the time when Zhuang Ke stood up for Ning Shi in the history shop. She even implied that she was trying to stop her from doing so. Zhuang Ke glanced at Ning Shuiluo again and asked suspiciously, "Why do you carry this photo with you?" "I found the original photo on my mother's bedside. Probably because it had been in contact with it for a long time. It was badly worn, so I secretly took it to the shop to repair it. I just got it today. Actually, I came to the beauty salon today to try my luck. I was wondering if I could meet you. I never thought that God would help me." Ning Shuilua didn't deny it at all. She even changed the way she addressed Zhuang Ke to cousin. As expected, After hearing Ning Xiuluo's words, Zhuang Ku'er's expression softened a lot. She had begun to believe Ning Xiuluo's words. After all, there was no need for Ning Xiuluo to lie to her. She would know the truth once she went back and asked. Unexpectedly, she had 3 aunts, and one of them had left home and cut off all ties with her family for many years. Thinking back to how her grandfather often looked worried, she thought it was because he missed her grandma. Could it also be because of his daughter who had been away from home for so many years? As juniors, it's not appropriate for us to interfere in the affairs of the younger generation. However, I really can't bear to see my mother so haggard every day. That's why I took the liberty to tell you so much, Ning Xiuluo said apologetically. Chapter 1458. If Zhuang Lingyu was really her aunt, then Ning Xiuluo was indeed her cousin. However, when Zhuang Ke heard Ning Xiuluo call her cousin, she felt a little uncomfortable. She also felt that something was not quite right. Just because they were from different families, why did Grandpa quarrel with his daughter for more than 20 years? Can I have this photo? Zhuang Ke asked. Seeing that Zhuang Ke was finally interested in this matter, Ning Xiuluo nodded. Of course, I made a few copies of it. Zhuang Ke said, thank you. Actually, my mother has always wanted to find a chance to reconcile with Grandpa. Because of her personality, she couldn't bring herself to do it, and there was no suitable time. After that, Ning Xiuluo talked to Zhuang Ke about how much Zhuang Lingyu had missed her family all these years. She also mentioned a few things about her marriage. After that, the two of them left the beauty salon. They stood at the door and waited for the car to pick them up. Ning Xiuluo was on the phone. What? The car broke down? But I have a job to attend, and it starts in less than half an hour. There was not enough time to send another car. She was a public figure, and it was not convenient for her to take a taxi. Ning Xiuluo stood at the door anxiously. At this time, Zhuang Ke's car arrived. She asked casually, where are you going? The exhibition center. It's on the way. I'll give you a ride. Cousin, thank you. Ning Xiuluo got into the car gratefully and took the opportunity to invite Zhuang Ke to attend her wedding. At the Zhuang family. After Zhuang Ke went back, she looked at the photo over and over again. Should I ask her? But since the elders in the family had never mentioned Zhuang Lingyu for so many years, it must be a taboo. Would it be inappropriate for her to ask them about it? She couldn't ask Grandpa. As for her mother, she didn't know if she knew about it. Should she ask Xiaoxi? Definitely not. Xiaoxi was just an adopted daughter of the Ning family. She probably didn't know about such a secret, and she had never mentioned it. While Zhuang Ke was hesitating, familiar footsteps came from the door. Dad, you're back. Zhuang Ke immediately stood up. Well, where's your grandfather? Zhuang Liaoyuan was wearing a military uniform, and his face was meticulous. He went fishing and hasn't come back yet. Zhuang Ke hesitated for a while, but finally, she asked Dad, Grandpa, how many daughters does he have? Zhuang Liaoyuan frowned when he heard this question. Why are you asking this all of a sudden? Today, I suddenly heard someone say that. Grandpa has 3 daughters, and one of them is called Zhuang Lingyu? Zhuang Ke asked tentatively. Sure enough, hearing this name, Zhuang Liaoyuan's face instantly changed. How did you know? Who told you that? So it's real. Zhuang Ke was surprised. She then handed the photo over. I met Miss Ning Xiuluo at the beauty salon today. I picked up her photo and found out about it. She told me that her mother misses her grandpa a lot. Is that what she said? Zhuang Liaoyuan's expression was a little strange. Yes, she also said that this photo had always been placed by her mother at the bedside. Because it was often touched, it was worn out, so she took it to repair. Zhuang Ke nodded. Chapter 1459. Hearing Zhuang Ke's words, Zhuang Liaoyuan didn't show any emotion on his face. Instead, he looked even colder, as if someone had touched his sore spot. It's none of your business. Just pretend that you haven't heard anything. Don't mention it in front of your grandpa. Zhuang Ke had expected that. Seeing her father's dark face, she nodded obediently. Okay, I know. Since Zhuang Liaoyuan had made his attitude clear, Zhuang Ku naturally ignored the wedding invitation that Ning Xiuluo had mentioned. Although her father didn't want to talk about the details, there must be something behind it. She couldn't just listen to Ning Xiuluo's side of the story, so she wouldn't interfere. Even for Xiaoxi, she didn't want to have too much to do with this cousin who appeared out of nowhere, Platinum Palace. That night, Lu Tingxiao cooked and Xiaobao helped him. Ning Shi was ordered to leave the kitchen and wait for dinner. Ning Shi casually browsed through the entertainment news. It was all about Ning Xiuluo and Su Yan's wedding. She couldn't even read other entertainment gossip. She had no choice but to close the interface and continue to peek at Little Bun and Big Bun. Ning Shi had just put down her cell phone when it suddenly rang. She looked at the caller ID and saw that it was Tang Nuo. Could it be that something had happened at home? Ning Shi picked up the phone. Hello, Xianxia. Did something happen at home? Did they go back to you? No. Sister, they didn't come back to us. Oh no, they came once to give us flowers and fruits, and they were very polite. Ning Shi must have beaten him up last time. It seemed that he had done the right thing. Oh, that's good. Ning Shi was relieved and smiled. Young man, the college entrance examination is in a few days. Do you need me to go with you and cheer you up? No, please don't. Don't come. Let me stay calm. Tang Nuo said hurriedly. Ning Shi chuckled. Fine. Come on. I'm waiting for you to get into the capital. Sister, wait for me. I'll definitely come. Yo, you talk big. Ning Shi ridiculed. However, Tang Nuo's grades had always been good. It would not be a problem for him to get into the capital. By the way, sis, I called you. Actually, there's something else. Tang Nuo seemed to find it difficult to speak. He hesitated for a moment before continuing. Sis, you came back too suddenly and in a hurry last time. We didn't have time to ask you to stay. What Mom and Dad mean is, you've helped us so much, so we should treat you to a meal. When are you free? Sis, our family haven't been together for a long time. Tang Nuo sounded very pitiful when he said the last sentence. Tang Nuo was very sad that his sister, whom he had been closest to since he was a child, suddenly left him and became someone he had nothing to do with. However, this matter involved too many people, and his parents also objected to him contacting Ning Shi too closely. No matter how much he missed her, he could only endure it. It was not until Ning Shi unexpectedly came home this time that he broke the ice. Ning Shi hesitated. Hearing the boy's careful and pitiful voice, she couldn't bear to refuse him directly. Well, I'll go there when I'm free. Really? Sister, you agreed. You can't go back on your word. Chapter 1460. Yes, I won't regret it. Don't worry about this and focus on the exam. Okay, I got it. I'll do my best for you. Good girl, Ning Shi smiled warmly. The siblings chatted for a while, and Tang Nuo stammered, By the way, sister, is that woman getting married soon? Ning Shi realized that he was talking about Ning Xiuluo and nodded. Yes. On the other end of the phone, Tang Nuo snorted. She didn't even call home. We only saw it on TV. I was really worried that my mom would run over there again. Fortunately, she didn't say anything this time, nor did she say that she was going. Previously, she kept urging me to send some local specialties for the wedding banquet. No matter how I persuaded her, she wouldn't stop. I don't know why she suddenly stopped. Ning Xiuluo must have rejected her on the phone. However, Ning Shi didn't say it out loud. There were many things that she couldn't say in her position. After Ning Shi hung up the phone, Lu Tingxiao and Little Bun's dinner was finally ready. Mom, it's time to eat. Little Bun led Ning Shi to the dining table with a proud expression. Ning Shi saw 4 simple dishes and 1 soup on the table. Tomato salad, braised pork, cola chicken wings, yam pork rib soup, and Lu Tingxiao's signature dish, stir-fried cabbage. It was much more sumptuous than she had imagined, and they all looked good. Try it. Lu Tingxiao handed her a pair of chopsticks. Ning Shi picked up her chopsticks and tasted them. Big Bun and Little Bun stared at her nervously. After a while, Ning Shi's eyes lit up, and she gave them a thumbs up. It's not bad. Delicious. Big Bun and Little Bun both heaved a sigh of relief. Little Bun was overjoyed. Lu Tingxiao pulled out a chair for Ningxi. Let's eat. Yep. Ningxi saw a blister on the back of Lu Tingxiao's hand and immediately grabbed his hand. What happened to your hand? It's just some oil. It's fine. I've already taken care of it. Lu Tingxiao said casually. She quickly blew on his hand. Does it still hurt? I'll blow on it for you. Seeing she coaxing a child, Lu Tingxiao didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but his heart was full of tenderness. Little Bun, who was ignored at the side, looked at her papa angrily with a small expression that said, Papa, how can you use the trick of injuring yourself to gain favor behind my back? Mommy, little treasure wants it too. Little Bun finally couldn't hold it in anymore. She chuckled and hurriedly blew on the little fellow's white and tender claws. Little Baozi was immediately satisfied. Look, even if little Bao didn't need to be schemed against, he was still very doted on. After dinner, after coaxing little Bun to sleep, Ningxi and Lu Tingxiao sat in the garden and chatted for a while. Sweetheart, why are you so nice to me today? Ningxi asked curiously. In fact, it wasn't just today. It had been like this for the past few days. In the past, Lu Tingxiao had been good enough to her, but these few days, it was even more exaggerated. She felt that she was about to be spoiled into a useless person. Lu Tingxiao did not dare to say that it was because of heartache and guilt. I'm worried that you'll feel uncomfortable. Lu Tingxiao thought for a moment and found another excuse. What do you mean by uncomfortable? Are you talking about Su Yan's marriage? Ningxi raised her eyebrows and said with a faint smile, If it's about that, you're really thinking too much. Huh, they're a good match. How nice it would be if they were together. Chapter 1461. Recently, Ningxi's shooting of 9 clouds had been going very well. Lin Jiji had also arranged some activities for her. After all, a film could take several months to shoot. If she disappeared for so long, she would soon be forgotten. So, she had to keep a certain level of popularity. Ningxi became more and more popular. At the same time, more and more people liked her, and more people targeted her. Slandering and groundless gossip were everywhere. Fortunately, with Lin Jiji's support and the company's support, she did not cause any trouble. Instead, her popularity and exposure increased in a disguised way. While working, there was one thing that Ningxi had been insisting on, that was charity. What she could do was limited in the past, but now she could do more with her status. Lin Jiji also agreed and supported this very much. She actively operated the organization and directly set up a charity fund in the name of Ningxi. I've arranged the ceremony for you. It's on the 8th of this month. You won't be there, Lin Jiji said. On the 8th. Ningxi raised her eyebrows. Are you going to do something on the 8th? Ningxi smiled and shook her head. No, I'll do it on the 8th. This is the invitation list. Have a look. Okay. Ningxi nodded and took a look at the list. They were all celebrities and important partners in the entertainment industry. No problem. As soon as Ningxi left Lin Jiji's office, her phone rang. Ningxi's hand slipped, and she answered the call without seeing who it was. Ning Yaohua's voice came from the other end of the line. Hello, CC. Don't forget Shui Luo's wedding tomorrow. I have something to do on the 8th. Something? What can you do? What is more important than Shui Luo's wedding? It was Zhuang Lingyu on the other end of the phone. Oh, are you sure you want me to go? Ningxi's tone alerted Zhuang Lingyu. Of course, she didn't want her to go. Who knew what kind of trouble she would cause if she were to come? Do you think I want you to come? Shui Luo's wedding is such a big day. It's fine if you don't come, but why can't Tianxin come? Are you guys afraid that outsiders don't know that our Ning family isn't on good terms? Zhuang Lingyu said snappily. Forget it, forget it. It's not a big deal if she doesn't come. Ning Yaohua muttered on the other end of the phone and then tentatively asked Ningxi, Cici, what are you going to do on the 8th? Ahem, Xiaoxi, let bygones be bygones. Love can't be forced. I think President Yin is actually quite good. From his tone, it seemed that he was really afraid that she would take the opportunity to cause trouble because of love. Moreover, Ning Yaohua had not forgotten about Yinshin. Perhaps they had seen her value after the last time, and their attitudes towards her had improved a lot, but it made her feel even more disgusted. Chairman Ning, you can go to the official website to see my schedule or call my assistant. Ning, she said, and hung up the phone directly. In the blink of an eye, it was the 8th. The gate of the Capitol Exhibition Center was crowded with guests from all walks of life, including rich and famous people in the entertainment circle. The atmosphere and scene were comparable to that of an award ceremony. Most of the other celebrities' weddings were held in hotel ballrooms or on islands, but Ning Xiaoluo and Su Yan's wedding had invited thousands of guests. It was too big, so the Su family booked the entire Imperial Capitol Exhibition Center. Chapter 1462. Ning Xiaoluo and Su Yan stood at the entrance to receive the guests. The two of them were a perfect match, like a couple from a painting. Their bridesmaids and groomsmen were all celebrities of the younger generation in the circle, and they were quite eye-catching. Director Su, congratulations. Director Li, you're too kind. Please come in. Congratulations, Xiaoluo. Happy wedding. You're so beautiful today. Sister Lin, you're the one who's gorgeous today. Even I, the bride, can't take your limelight away. Inside the wedding banquet hall, Ning Yaohua was busy arranging the guests and chatting with the CEOs in the capital's entertainment circle. At that moment, he was extremely glad that he had given 15% of his shares to Ning Xiaoluo. Xiaoluo was indeed his lucky star. The Zhuang family had looked down on him and objected to their daughter marrying him. If they saw this scene today, how would they feel? With that in mind, he did not object to Xiaoluo sending the invitation card to the Zhuang family. If the Zhuang family changed their attitude, he could let bygones be bygones. In the blink of an eye, half of the time had passed. Most of the guests had arrived. Xiaoluo, Su Yan, leave this to us. Both of you should go in. We have rehearsals later, Zhuang Lingyu said with a smile. Ning Xiaoluo furrowed her brows. It's okay, Mom. The guests haven't arrived yet. I'll stay with Su Yan for a while. All right, don't wait too long, Zhuang Lingyu said and went back to work. Ning Xiaoluo waited for a while longer. There were only a few guests who arrived late. The Zhuang family was nowhere to be seen. Damn it, she had already done so much, but it was still useless. Was the Zhuang family really that heartless? They had given them such a good excuse and told Zhuang so much. As long as they were willing to reconcile, they would definitely come today. Xiaoluo, are your grandfather's people here? Su Yan's mother walked over and asked with a smile. She looked very concerned. Not yet. I think they'll be a little late. Let's go in first, Ning Xiaoluo said with a smile. Su Yan's mother cared a lot about the Zhuang family. If she messed up the first thing she did after marrying into the Zhuang family, how could she stand in the Su family in the future? No matter what, he had to get the Zhuang family to come today. Even if it was just to show their faces, it seemed like she could only use her last resort. At the same time, in the military compound, Zhuang had changed into a dark formal dress and was carrying her bag. It seemed as she was about to go out. Kuer, did you meet up with a friend? Is it a boy or a girl? Meng Linlang, who was sitting on the sofa in the living room, asked with an expectant look in her eyes. Zhuang looked helpless. Mom, I'm going to support Xiaoxi. Xiaoxi? Does that child have any activities today? Meng Linlang asked. Xiaoxi's charity foundation is going to be established today. As her good friend, of course I have to go and support her, Zhuang replied. Meng Linlang sighed and nodded. That child is a good one. He hasn't been blinded by fame and fortune. He still doesn't forget his original heart. No wonder he's, Mom, as expected of what? While the mother and daughter were talking, the nanny walked in with a small black box in her hand. Miss, did you leave this bracelet in the car? Bracelet? What bracelet? Zhuang was puzzled. The nanny said, Old Zhang found it in the car when he was washing it. It looks very valuable. Miss, you'd better put it away. It's not safe to leave it in the car. Chapter 1463. Zhuang opened the small box and took a look. She was confused. This isn't mine. The nanny was puzzled. It's not yours? Is it madam's? But, judging from the style of the bracelet, it should be worn by a young girl. It's not mine. I've never seen it before. Meng Linlang said. That's strange. No one has sat in my car before. Zhuang looked at the bracelet again and again. She could tell that it was very expensive. It was worth at least a few million. Suddenly, Zhuang thought of someone. Could it be Ning Shuo? Who are you talking about? Meng Linlang frowned when she heard the name. The daughter of the Ning family. Her father is Ning Yaohua, and her mother is Zhuang Lingyu. I just found out that I have a cousin like her. Cousin? Meng Linlang frowned even harder. What kind of cousin is she? Wait, how do you know all this? Who told you? Ning Shuo told me herself. Zhuang recalled and told her about the day she gave birth at the beauty salon. Meng Linlang listened in silence from beginning to end. She sneered at the end. What nonsense! Would Zhuang Lingyu put a photo by her bedside and miss her family every night? If she still had a conscience, she wouldn't have done such a heartless thing. Mom, what happened back then? I asked my father, but he didn't want to say anything. He even told me not to ask and not to mention it in front of Grandpa. Zhuang was puzzled. After the nanny left, Meng Linlang said, Do you know why your grandpa didn't agree to Zhuang Lingyu and Ning Yaohua's marriage? Is it because their families don't match? It can't be that simple, right? If it was because of that, they would have quarreled a few times at most. How could it have gotten so serious? Zhuang said. Meng Linlong's face darkened. It seemed like she didn't want to talk about it either. However, if she didn't say it, Zhuang might be used by those people. After hesitating for a while, Meng Linlang said, Back then, the Ning family's conditions weren't that bad. Although they weren't part of the government system and weren't aristocratic families, they opened a small company and could be considered a rich second generation. Ning Ziyuan was the head of the family, and the company was doing well. In order to train his two sons, he let them work outside for 2 years. However, one of the two sons of the Ning family was worse than the other. The second son of the Ning family, Ning Yaobang, spent his days indulging in debauchery. The eldest son of the Ning family, Ning Yaohua, started his own small company. On the surface, he seemed to be doing well, but in fact, it wasn't the first time he used his pretty good face to socialize with several women. Your father investigated it in detail and told Zhuang Lingyu about it when he came back. In the end, your naive aunt was completely bewitched and wouldn't listen to anything. She even said that the family was trying to break us up, and even Meng Linlong's face darkened. Ning Yaohua even seduced me, but he did it discreetly. There was no evidence. I only told your father about it. However, your father didn't think much of it and went straight to Zhuang Lingyu. You can guess what happened. Not only did she not believe me, she even framed me for seducing her man. I'm not that observant yet. Chapter 1464. Zhuang was shocked. She finally understood why her father didn't say anything at that time. This kind of thing, especially when it was a matter between the elders, was indeed inappropriate to talk to a junior. After that, Ning Yaohua often whispered in Zhuang Lingyu's ear. Zhuang Lingyu heard it and came back to argue with your grandfather. She asked your grandfather to open the back door for Ning Yaohua. Did she think it was easy to give him a piece of land? At that time, the higher-ups were very strict, and your grandfather had such a clear and upright temperament. Not to mention Ning Yaohua. Even his own son didn't use his privileges. All of your father's achievements were earned step by step with clenched teeth. Meng Linlang had probably been holding it in for a long time, so she decided to tell him everything that had happened that year. In the end, after being rejected, Zhuang Lingyu went behind your grandfather's back and used the Zhuang family's name to secretly bribe someone for help. Later on, your grandfather's political enemies found out about this and almost used this incident to bring your grandfather down from his position. Not only did she ruin your grandfather's reputation for the rest of his life, your grandfather was so furious that he severed their father-daughter relationship. Zhuang was shocked. So that's what happened. Meng Linlang snorted. Even though he broke off his relationship with her later, your father still cared about his family. He secretly took a gun and warned Ning Yaohua to treat Zhuang Lingyu well. Otherwise, do you think Ning Yaohua would treat Zhuang Lingyu like an ancestor and not dare to say a word when he can't have son? After hearing this, Zhuang Ku'er finally understood. Then what Ning Xiaoluo said, Meng Linlang sneered. A month ago, when Zhuang Lingyu met your brother and me, she was still arrogant like a rich lady. She didn't even look us in the eye. Do you think she would regret it all? Ning Xiaoluo is young, but she's very cunning. She just wants to borrow the Zhuang family's glory. What's with this bracelet? Did she leave in the car to please me, but was afraid that I wouldn't accept it? Zhuang Ku'er was confused, but it didn't seem to make sense. She's trying to trick you into going to her wedding banquet. Meng Linlang looked at the time. You can wait and see if you don't believe me. She'll call you later and say that she accidentally left her bracelet in your car. She'll make up all sorts of reasons that you have to deliver it to her personally and ask for your help. When the time comes, as long as you go, even if you only give a bracelet, no one will know. They will only see that you went to Ning Xiaoluo's wedding banquet and gave her an incomparably expensive bracelet as a wedding gift. They will only know that you are the eldest daughter of the Zhuang clan and that you represent the entire Zhuang clan. At that time, Ning Xiaoluo's value will rise by stepping on our Zhuang family. Meng Linlang knew her daughter too well. She was cold on the outside, but warm on the inside. If Ning Xiaoluo really wanted to set her up, she would most likely fall for it. Fortunately, she had discovered it in time. Zhuang Ku'er bit her lips as if she had eaten a fly. This woman's scheming is simply too terrifying. First, he played the family card, and finally, just in case she didn't fall for it, he even dug a hole with the bracelet for her. It was simply impossible to guard against. A fierce gleam flashed across Meng Linlong's eyes. Ning Xiaoluo, I haven't gone to her yet, but she dared to set up the Zhuang family. Then he stood up, turned to Zhuang Ku'er, and asked, Did you just say that Xiaoxi Charity Foundation was established today? Chapter 1465. It's today. What's the matter, Mom? Where is it? Meng Linlang asked again. The small hall on the top floor of the International Exhibition Center. I remember that Ning Xiaoluo's wedding will be held in the Exhibition Center, and she booked the biggest hall on the middle floor. Zhuang Ku'er answered. The Exhibition Center often held large and small events and conferences, and the middle floor was the largest and most luxurious place. Usually, important national conferences or large-scale events were held there, while other events were held in the small hall on the top floor. Zhuang Ku'er was a loyal fan of Ning Xiaoluo. She had read about the establishment of the Ning Shi Charity Fund on the official website a long time ago. The venue and time of the establishment ceremony were also set long before Ning Xiaoluo's wedding. She didn't expect that Ning Xiaoluo's wedding would be held on the same day and at the same place. Just then, Zhuang Ku'er's phone rang. The caller ID was Ning Xiaoluo. Ning Xiaoluo had exchanged phone numbers with her in the beauty salon that day. Zhuang Ku'er looked at her mother subconsciously. Meng Linlang smiled sarcastically and said, Answer it. Let's see what she has to say. Okay. Zhuang Ku'er nodded and put the phone on speaker. Cousin, can I trouble you with something? I lost a bracelet that I needed for my wedding today, and I couldn't find it no matter how hard I tried. Maybe I left it in your car when I left the beauty salon. Can you help me look for it? I'm really sorry to trouble you. Ning Xiaoluo sounded sincere and anxious. What she said was exactly what Meng Linlang had expected. Zhuang Ku'er was even angrier, especially when she heard Ning Xiaoluo call her cousin. Ning Xiaoluo kept calling her cousin, but she was plotting against her step by step. When she was about to say something, Meng Linlang winked at her daughter, motioning her to continue Ning Xiaoluo's story. Zhuang Ku'er said, Wait a minute. I'll help you look for it. Okay, thank you so much. Zhuang Ku'er hung up the phone. Mom, what do you want to do? Promise her that you'll send it to her later. I have my own arrangements, Meng Linlang said. Okay. Zhuang Ku'er nodded. After waiting for a few minutes, Zhuang Ku'er called Ning Xiaoluo. I found it. It's in my car. That's great. This bracelet has a very special meaning to me. It's my lucky item. If I lose it on my wedding day, I really don't know what to do. Ning Xiaoluo's tone was filled with relief. She then changed the topic and said hesitantly, Cousin, I'm really sorry. Are you free now? I might have to trouble you with something else. My wedding is about to start. If I send someone to pick it up, it'll be too late. Can you please send it over for me? I'm really sorry. A girl's wedding was such an important day, and she was so anxious to give it to her. Moreover, after she saw the bracelet, she realized that it was worth a few million yuan. With her personality, she might really give it to her in person if she knew nothing about it. Thinking of this, Zhuang Kuer paused for a moment, then said, I'll send it over for you. Thank you, cousin. Thank you so much. Ning Xiaoluo thanked him again. Chapter 1466. After hanging up the phone, Zhuang Kuer felt a lingering fear. If she really went there and gave the bracelet to Ning Xiaoluo, everything would be confirmed. Even if she heard that the Zhuang family attended Ning Xiaoluo's wedding and gave her a valuable gift, Ning Xiaoluo could just say that the guests misunderstood her. It was impossible for Zhuang Kuer to explain to the guests one by one. Meng Linlang looked at her daughter's expression and sighed. Her daughter was good at everything, but she was too naive. However, her husband, who was always straightforward, did not put his guard up when his daughter told him that Ning Xiaoluo was looking for her. Forget it, forget it. She would do it. She had planned to do it a long time ago, but now was brought forward. Taking advantage of today's opportunity, she wanted to let them have a good look at what it meant to be a true supporter and a true supporter. Meng Linlang picked up her phone and started making calls. Hello, Section Chief Zhao, what are you busy with? What else can I be busy with? I've been transferred back to the capital, and I'm not used to being idle all of a sudden. Recently, I've been doing some charity work. Following that, Meng Linlang made several calls in a row, and she was still calling. Zhuang Kuer realized something and picked up her phone to invite people in her circle. Although she did not have many friends, there were many people who wanted to curry favor with her. As long as she said the word, there would be people willing to come. After a while, Zhuang Kuer, who was wearing a black dress, was holding a handbag and a delicate gift bag in her hand. Meng Linlang was also wearing a solemn dark suit. The mother and daughter got into the car together and drove towards the exhibition center. At the same time, in the wedding hall of the exhibition center, Mother Su had already rushed Ning Xiaoluo several times, and there was a hint of impatience in her eyes. Ning Xiaoluo had just ended the phone call with Zhuang Kuer, and her face was full of joy. She quickly walked to Mother Su and said with certainty, Mom, don't worry. I just called my cousin. She's already on her way. Really? That's great. Hurry up and send someone to the door to welcome her. Mother Su was overjoyed. I've already sent someone. That's good, that's good. Is your cousin coming alone? Mother Su asked again. Well, I think so. Oh, that's good too. It's good enough that your cousin can come. It's the same. Mrs. Su's face was full of joy. She looked at the door from time to time, raising her head in anticipation. Ning Xiaoluo walked to Zhuang Lingyu after she was done talking to her mother. She was worried that Zhuang Lingyu would mess things up, so she held Zhuang Lingyu's arm and said softly, Mom, the Zhuang family will send people over later. I hope you won't be too calculative with them. Otherwise, it won't be worth it if you get angry and hurt your health. Zhuang Lingyu actually knew that they had secretly invited the Zhuang family, but she had turned a blind eye to it. Now that she heard this, she said, I know. Today is your big day. Mom is in a good mood, so she won't be calculative with them. Of course, she had her own considerations. Although she would never forgive her brother and father for what they had done that year, she couldn't deny that if the Zhuang family were to attend Shuai Luo's wedding, it would be beneficial to Shuai Luo. At that time, she would reluctantly entertain them. Chapter 1467. At the wedding banquet, almost all of the guests were from the entertainment industry. Even their rival, Xianxia Entertainment, had come. After all, although they were affiliated with Xianxia, the company could not restrict their personal relationships. In the corner, two female stars of Xianxia were whispering to each other. One of the female stars in yellow said worriedly, "Sigh, given Starlight and Xianxia's current situation, isn't it inappropriate for us to attend Ning Xiueluo's wedding?" Ning Xiueluo and Ning, she seemed to be in a tense relationship recently. The female star in red next to her said disdainfully, "What else can you do? Why don't you come to such an important event? Are you going to that shabby hall upstairs to attend some charity donation ceremony? If you want to go, go by yourself." Ahem, I'm just saying. Speaking of which, Ning Shueluo, Ning Shi, are the two of them related to each other? They are both surnamed Ning. When Ning Shi was still in Starlight, Ning Yaohua had completely blocked the relationship between Ning Shi and the Ning family, so no one in the entertainment industry knew about Ning Shi's identity. However, there was no such thing as an impenetrable wall in the world, and it was inevitable that some rumors would leak out. The female star in red said, "There is such a rumor, but I think it's all groundless. If Ning Shi is really related to the Ning family wouldn't have targeted her so much. For Ning Shuo, they withdrew their investments and drove her out of Starlight. Didn't you see that Ning Shi didn't even show up today?" "That's true." The female star in yellow nodded and felt relieved. And the Ning family is not just a business family like you think. They have a powerful background. "Oh, what do you mean?" "It's said that even the Zhuang family will be here today. The Zhuang family of the founding general, Zhuang Zongren. Do you understand now?" "TSK, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I need to get down to business." The female star in red hurriedly touched up her makeup, stood up, and swayed her body as she walked toward one of the bosses who had been eyeing her for a long time. Almost all the rich people in the capital attended Ning Xiueluo's wedding. In their eyes, they were like pieces of fat meat. Only fools would miss such a good opportunity. After Su Yimo's downfall, Ning Shi became the king. She was not like Su Yimo, who had the title of Lu Group's lady boss. She didn't have to give up such a great opportunity for Ning Shi. Ning Shi thought that Ning Shi was the king of the entertainment industry. This kind of occasion was most suitable for all kinds of social interaction. It was also a good opportunity to build relationships and discuss cooperation. Basically, everyone had the same goal as the actress in red. As for the news that the Zhuang family would be coming, many guests had already received the news. At this moment, many people went to ask Mother Su about it. "Madam Su, I heard that the people from the Zhuang family are coming. Is that true?" Mother Su had already gotten an affirmative answer from Ning Xue just now, so she said with a smile, "Yes, she will. Xiueluo just told me that Miss Zhuang is already on her way." "Aya, Shueluo? How did Shueluo know someone from the Zhuang family?" "Madam Su, your daughter-in-law is really resourceful." Mother Su was surrounded by a group of people. Not far away, Su Sun and his wife looked gloomy the whole time, but they forced themselves not to show it. Who would have thought that Ning Xiueluo would suddenly have such a powerful backer? Chapter 1468. Mother Su listened to the compliments around her and glanced at her illegitimate son, Su Sun's ugly expression. She felt very happy and said proudly, "Hey, actually it's because the Zhuang family is our in-law's maternal family." Hearing this, the crowd was even more surprised. They thought that at most there was some friendship between the younger generation. Who knew that there was such a relationship? The Zhuang family was Zhuang Lingyu's maternal family? But how come they had never heard of it? Everyone looked at each other in dismay, but it was not convenient to ask. At this moment, a few slightly older people suddenly said, "There really is such a thing." Back then, the Ning family's daughter-in-law was old General Zhuang's youngest daughter. But later she had a falling out with her family and did not contact them for many years. It seems like they have reconciled. After all, they are biological children. Isn't it normal for them to reconcile? So that's how it is. TSK. The Su family really picked up a treasure this time. I thought they married a fake phoenix. What fake phoenix? I think it's Ning Xiaodong who wants to take the Ning family's property. Didn't Ning Yaohua deny it at the press conference? While everyone was discussing, someone in the crowd let out a low cry. At the door, that Isn't that the young miss of the Zhuang family? In an instant, everyone subconsciously looked in the direction of the door. What they saw was not important at all. Not only did they see a young girl, but there was also a dignified older woman beside her. The two of them seemed to be talking to the receptionist. They saw that the woman had taken good care of herself. She wore a navy blue qipao embroidered with dark patterns. Standing beside the girl, she did not look like a mother, but more like a sister. Although she did not wear any expensive or gorgeous jewelry, her temperament was naturally noble. Several people immediately recognized the two. That's right, it's the young miss of the Zhuang family. And Madame Zhuang. What? That's Madame Zhuang next to the girl? Oh my God, I didn't expect even the general's wife to come. Madame Zhuang has never appeared in these kinds of occasions. It seems that the relationship between the Zhuang family and the Ning family is real. If they're not in-laws, why would they pay so much attention? With the appearance of the two, almost all the guest attention was attracted. Not far away, Ning Shuo and Mother Su, who had been waiting for a long time, looked at each other and hurried to greet them. Neither of them had expected that even Madame Zhuang, Meng Linlang, would come. Ning Shualuo was the most surprised because she had only asked Zhuang Ke to help deliver a bracelet. She did not expect that she would bring Meng Linlang as well. From the looks of it, it was definitely more than just a bracelet. Could it be? Could it be that the Zhuang family finally changed their mind at the last moment and agreed to attend her wedding? If that was the case, that would be great. Ning Shuo looked at Zhuang Lingyu pleadingly. Zhuang Lingyu still looked reluctant, especially when she saw Meng Linlang. However, for the sake of her daughter, she tidied her hair and followed Ning Shuo. Ning Yaohua was overjoyed, especially when he saw Ning Yaobang's jealous look. Just now, Ning Yaobang was still saying that he had given his shares to a daughter who was not related to him by blood. He said that he was an idiot and warned him to be careful of his efforts being in vain. Now, it completely proved how correct his decision was. Chapter 1469. However, Ning Yaohua's status was very different now. No matter how proud he was, he still pretended to be reserved. Seeing that Ning Shuo and Zhuang Lingyu had left, he did not rush forward. Instead, he waited for the Zhuang family to congratulate him while he responded to the crowd's compliments. Under the gaze of all the guests, Ning Shuo, the bride, personally came to the entrance of the hall and called out intimately, "Cousin, aunt, please come in." Then, she didn't forget to introduce them to Auntie Sue. "Big brother Yin, this is my cousin and my aunt. I told you about them before. Cousin, aunt." The other guests who were unaware of the relationship between the Ning family and the Zhuang family gasped when they heard Ning Shuo's greeting. Moreover, Ning Shuo was very high profile this time. She did not lower her voice, as if she was afraid that no one could hear her. Originally, if it was only Zhuang Ke who came, she was afraid that others would know the truth of Zhuang Ke's arrival. So she would definitely keep a low profile and take her to a place where others couldn't hear them. She would make it more ambiguous so that others would misunderstand. But now there was no need for that at all. Mother Su was also full of enthusiasm. "Madame Zhuang, I really didn't expect you to come. Miss Zhuang is really getting more and more beautiful." At the door, Meng Linlang finally spoke while Ning Shuo and Auntie Su were exchanging pleasantries. Meng Linlang looked at the people in front of her indifferently, as if she was looking at a stranger. Then she frowned and looked at Zhuang Ke. "Who are they? Do you know him?" Zhuang Ke was even more confused. She put on an innocent expression and said, I don't know. Mom, let's go, we won't make it." Meng Linlang nodded, then she was pulled by Zhuang Ke and walked upstairs without looking back. Ning Shuo, Zhuang Lingyu, Auntie Su, Su Yin, Ning Yaohua, and all the other guests. There was at least a full 10 seconds of silence before the people in the hall who were left behind finally reacted. What was going on? Madame Zhuang and eldest young Miss Zhuang said that they did not know them at all. Moreover, the two of them were not there to attend Ning Shuo's wedding. They were just passing by. What did Miss Zhuang and Madame Zhuang say to you just now? Mother Su was stunned for a long time. She seemed to be unable to recover from the sudden turn of events. In her anxiety, she didn't even have time to conceal her tone as she asked the waiter at the door sternly. The waiter was also dumbfounded. He replied in a trembling voice, "No, nothing. Just now, Madam and Miss just asked me for directions." "What? Asking for directions?" The scene just now was clearly heard by a large number of people in the surroundings. Soon, all the guests knew that Madame Zhuang and eldest young Miss Zhuang would not attend Ning Xueluo's wedding at all. "Oh my God, what's going on? I'm confused. You still don't understand? The Zhuang clan has nothing to do with the Ning clan at all." All right. Regardless of whether they are related or not, judging from the Zhuang clan's attitude, they definitely don't plan to have anything to do with the Ning clan. From the beginning to the end, it was just the Ning clan's wishful thinking. That's hilarious. Ning Xueluo doesn't need to lie even if she wants to look good, right? Who knows? It's also possible that the Zhuang clan did agree to come, but reneged halfway. It's even more likely that the Zhuang clan deliberately wanted to show their strength and embarrass the Ning clan because of their bad relationship with the Ning clan. This is really going for wool and coming home shorn. Chapter 1470. There were many people who could not stand Ning Yaohua's arrogant behavior. They were all secretly gloating at the show. After the Ning family and the Su family reacted, they quickly laughed it off and said that they had made a mistake. Today was such a joyous day, and the guests would not make things too ugly on the scene. They just smiled and let it go. It was just that after today, who knew what they would talk about in private after a meal? The wedding ceremony was about to begin. The two families took the opportunity to leave the hotel suite. As soon as they closed the door, Mother Su could no longer hold back her ugly expression. "Xueluo, what's wrong with you? Didn't you promise me that the Zhuang family would definitely come?" In the end, they did come, but they're here to cause trouble. Ning Xueluo did not know what went wrong. However, she had no other choice. She could only grit her teeth as tears rolled down her cheeks. "Mom, I don't know. I really don't know. Cousin told me everything was fine on the phone. I don't know how it turned out like this." Zhuang Lingyu was furious when she saw Mother Su's attitude. "In-law, how can you blame Xueluo for this? If Xueluo knew this would happen, would she have asked the Zhuang family to come? Besides, in all fairness, if you didn't want Xueluo to invite the Zhuang family, would this have happened?" Mother Su sneered. Speaking of which, this is my fault? Why do you think I insisted on inviting the Zhuang family? It's because, seeing that his mother-in-law and mother were about to quarrel, Su Yin glanced at Ning Xueluo, who looked aggrieved, and pinched his brows. Before his mother could say anything worse, he said, "Mom, stop it. Things have already come to this. There might be some misunderstanding. Now is not the time to discuss these things. Let's find a chance to clarify things after the wedding." Ning Yaohua and Su Hongguang's expressions were extremely ugly, but they could only endure it for now. The wedding is about to begin. Both of you should hurry up and prepare. Don't make any more mistakes. After a short conversation, the two families hurried out to entertain the guests. It would be too suspicious if they left for too long. However, at this moment, the wedding banquet hall was indeed in an uproar. By the way, did you hear that just now? Eldest Miss Zhuang said that they wouldn't be able to make it if they were late. The two of them seemed to be here to participate in some activity. Participate in activities? The largest floor of the exhibition center has been booked by the Su family. The top floor is just a small hall. What kind of important event can be held that would require the general's wife and young miss to personally attend? That's strange. Just as the crowd was discussing among themselves, some people inadvertently received calls one after another. Then, they secretly lowered their voices and called each other. What? The Charity Foundation. Section Chief Zhao is upstairs. Department Head Liu is here too. Are you sure? Don't try to fool me. I've been trying to make an appointment with Department Head Liu for 3 months, but I still haven't managed to make an appointment. That's impossible, right? All right, I'll go take a look later. I didn't receive an invitation letter. Wouldn't it be bad if I just went there? What? No need for an invitation? As long as you donate. Of course, that's not a problem. Got it, got it. With a series of phone calls, the number of VIPs at the wedding banquet gradually decreased. Chapter 1471. One by one, the guests went to bid farewell to Ning Yaohua and Su Hongguang apologetically. Chairman Ning, I'm really sorry. Something urgent suddenly came up in the company, so I have to go first. Congratulations again. Sorry. It's fine, it's fine. What are you saying, President Wang? It's already a great show of support for you to come today. President Wang, take care. Ning Yaohua had just sent off one person when another business partner of the company came to find him. Chairman Ning, the company has been quite busy recently, and the wedding was squeezed into the time of the meeting. I'll take my leave first. Please don't blame me. Chairman Ning. Ning Yaohua hurriedly said, It's nothing, Director Jiang. Let me send you off. There's no need for that, Director Ning. I can walk by myself. At first, Ning Yaohua didn't feel anything was wrong. It wasn't until the fifth person came to say goodbye to him that he finally felt something was wrong. At the same time, Su Hongguang encountered a similar situation. However, the wedding ceremony was about to begin, and the two didn't have time to think too much. They were called over by the MC to make the final preparations. At the same time, in the multi-purpose hall upstairs, there was a poster for the charity fund at the entrance, and there were two greeters. Although it was very simple, the poster was beautifully designed, and the greeters were unusually polite. They were guiding the guests to sign in and register the donation. It was obvious that they had put in a lot of effort. The layout of the hall was simple and orderly. Most of the people here were artists and partners of Xianxia Entertainment. There weren't many people, but the atmosphere was quite good. Ningshi was busy working with her assistant and manager while making a phone call. The call was from Zhuang Ke. She said that she would arrive soon and that she would come with her mother. Hearing this, Ningshi was a little surprised. Then she smiled gratefully and said, Thank you, Ke. You don't have to be so polite with me. I'm already at the door. I'll hang up first. At the door, Zhuang Ke registered her name, then brought a gift bag to the table. She took out a small black box from the bag and said to the staff in charge of registration, I want to donate this bracelet. Zhuang Ke took out the bracelet that Ning Xiluo had deliberately thrown in her car. Anyway, it was impossible for her to return this thing. It was disgusting to keep it with her, so she might as well donate it to do a good deed. After the registration, Zhuang Ke and her mother went to find Ningshi. Ningshi saw the two people and hurriedly went to greet them. Madame Zhuang, thank you for coming. If it was only Kur, it would have been fine. But Madame Zhuang had actually come in person. This was indeed giving too much face. Ningshi could not help but feel overwhelmed by the favor. Seeing Ningshi's gratefulness, Meng Linlang said gently and angrily, How many times have I told you? Don't be so polite to us. We should thank you. You've helped us so much before, but we only treated you to a few meals. We don't have the right to interfere in other things, but I can help you with charity. You don't have to thank me. Ningshi's eyes lit up, and she said, Don't mention it. Meng Linlang decided to do what she was going to do today after much consideration. Charity was a good opportunity. Helping Ningshi in this respect would not be a laughingstock to either the Zhuang family or Ningshi. Ningshi naturally thought of this and was moved by Meng Linlang's thoughtfulness. She smiled and led them to the side to rest and have tea. But what Ningshi didn't expect was that Meng Linlang didn't just come by herself. She did more than she could imagine. Chapter 1472. Not long after Meng Linlang stepped in, the sparse entrance to the small hall suddenly became crowded, and these people were a little strange. For example, the CEO who was doing the registration was dressed in formal attire, as if he had just come from an important banquet. When he arrived, he asked directly, Can I donate something? Of course you can. The staff nodded. Thus, the CEO took off a watch that looked very expensive from his hand without saying a word. Then I'll donate this watch. Okay. Coincidentally, there were already several guests, like the CEO, saying that they came in a hurry without any preparation. Without saying a word, they directly took off the accessories they were wearing, causing the two staff members to look at each other. Lin Jiji saw that there were more and more unfamiliar faces, so she walked up to Ningxi. Ningxi, did you invite these people? Ningxi glanced at the people around her who were obviously not on the list. Sister Jiji, didn't you invite them? Both of them were stunned for a moment, obviously thinking that they were invited by the other party. Because tonight's banquet was for charity, Lin Jiji had already started a certain amount of publicity and invitations a long time ago. But many of these people were obviously not within the scope of her ability to advertise. In addition, when Ning Shuiluo's wedding date was set, it happened to coincide with today's banquet. Almost half of the people had gone to Ning Shuiluo's place, so there were even fewer people who could come today. Ning, she suddenly thought of something, muttered to herself for a moment, and said, I think I know. Wait, I'll go ask. Ning, she informed Lin Jiji, then walked over to Zhuang, Ke, and Meng Linlang. Madam Zhuang, it seems that there are a lot of company CEOs and famous people in the city who are not on our banquet list. Did Madam help to invite them? Meng Linlang glanced at those people, smiled faintly, and said directly, These people? No. She actually denied it? If it wasn't Meng Linlang, then who could it be? This time, Ningxi was really a little confused. At this moment, those CEOs who had rushed over after hearing the news were standing in twos and threes, talking together. What the hell is going on? Is there something wrong with your information? I just asked. This is just a charity foundation set up in the name of a small celebrity. Let's wait a little longer. Didn't you see that Madame Zhuang and eldest young Miss Zhuang have indeed come? What about Section Chief Zhao and Department Head Liu? Didn't they say that they would all come? I don't see a single one. I risk defending both the Su and Ning families by leaving early. Isn't this cheating? This Miss Zhuang, judging from her age, is she a fan of that little star called Ningxi? My daughter is also a fan of this female star. She talks about her every day. Now that you mention it, it's possible. So the section chief and department head, were they all wrong? How about we go back downstairs? Just as a group of people were complaining about how they had made a wasted trip and even donated money for no reason, a group of people suddenly walked over from the entrance. A group of people walked over, laughing and chatting. Leading them were the people they had been talking about, Chief Zhao and Chief Liu. Looking behind them, it was even more frightening. At a glance, several of them were high-ranking officials and their wives, who were usually as difficult as ascending to the heavens. The most shocking thing was who they saw. Isn't that General Zhuang Liaoyuan? At the same time, Meng Linlang looked at Ningxi, smiled lightly, and then said, Look, these people are the ones I invited. Ningxi, Chapter 1473. Ningxi was indeed shocked. So, these people were invited by Meng Linlang. As for the others, it seemed that they had come for these people after hearing the news. Zhuang Liaoan walked straight towards Ning, Shi, and the others after saying something to his colleague. Chief Zhuang. Ningxi looked at Zhuang Liaoyuan, who had come in person and didn't know what to say. Zhuang Liaoyuan was giving him too much face. Girl, I hope you don't mind that I joined your event with the Charity Association's project without your permission, Zhuang Liaoyuan said. Ningxi hurriedly said, Of course not. I just feel that it's too much trouble for you. Zhuang Liaoyuan said indifferently, As long as it doesn't cause you any trouble. Of course not. It's just that my venue is small and simple. I'm afraid it will be neglected. Don't worry about that. Your venue is more than enough. We're doing charity, not putting on a show. It's better to keep it simple. Hearing this, Ningxi was finally relieved. She thanked him again and then said, Chief Zhuang, you can chat with each other. I'll go now. Meng Linlang said softly, Go ahead. Don't worry about us. Ningxi immediately went to explain the situation to Lin Jiji. Ningxi, do you know General Zhuang? Lin Jiji asked in surprise. I helped the Zhuang family by chance. Later, I got along well with Zhuang Ke. He must have come to support me because I helped him before. Ning, she explained briefly. Only then did Lin Jiji feel a little relieved. In fact, although so many people came unexpectedly, she didn't have to worry at all because there were also a lot of staff from the charity association. They were experienced and had already helped to take over the event. In the wedding banquet hall downstairs, the long-awaited wedding ceremony finally began. After the MC on the stage gave a passionate speech, the sacred wedding march sounded and the door at the end of the red carpet opened. The bride in a white wedding dress held her father's arm and walked step by step to the groom on the other side of the red carpet. Finally, the exciting moment had arrived. All the cameras of the invited media pointed at the bride, Ning Shuo, at the same time. The eyes of the guests, especially the girls, were overflowing with envy. The awkwardness caused by the Zhuang family had been completely washed away by the excitement of the wedding. Because the venue was very large, the red carpet was very long. As Ning Shui walked forward, a large number of the surrounding guests had quietly disappeared. What's going on? Why do I see so many people leaving? A yellow-dressed female star of Xianxia Entertainment looked around suspiciously. The red-dressed female star looked a little suspicious. While they were talking, the boss next to her also hurriedly turned around and walked out the door. The red-dressed female star hurriedly stopped the old CEO. Director Li, where are you going? Hee, I have an important event to attend. Miss Feng, let's meet again when we are free. Director Li left in a hurry after he finished speaking. The more the woman in red thought about it, the more confused she became. In the end, she couldn't help but chase after them to the door. The woman in yellow followed closely behind. Then the two of them saw that the VIPs who had just left were all heading upstairs. Chapter 1474. That's strange. Is there an important event upstairs? Isn't it Ningxi's charity donation ceremony upstairs? There's only a small hall upstairs. There can't be any other event. Just as the two actresses were getting more and more confused, a group of people suddenly came from the stairway. The person who almost blinded them was their boss, Lu Jingli, and the person next to him was their big boss, Lu Tingxiao. Behind him were all the senior executives of Xianxia Entertainment, whom they rarely saw. However, it was not over yet. There was another set of footsteps coming from the stairway on the right. A white-haired man wearing sunglasses walked up leisurely, followed by a few cold-faced bodyguards in black. Next to him was a man wearing gold-rimmed glasses. Fuck. This iconic white hair. Could it be the rumored President Yin? The two actresses were so shocked that they almost trembled. The two groups of people on the left and right happened to meet. Yo, President Lu, what a coincidence. You're here too? The white-haired man took off his sunglasses and smiled at the expressionless man opposite him. Lu Tingxiao narrowed his eyes slightly, but his footsteps paused slightly. Soon, he continued to walk upstairs. Lu Jingli glanced at the man behind him, curled his lips, and hurried to catch up with his brother. Fuck, why is this guy here too? Everything was not going well today. Originally, they had a good plan. They would definitely help little Cece out today and fight against the adulterous couple downstairs. In the end, they did not expect that the Zhuang family would interfere. Not only did they fail to provide timely help, but even their rival in love had come to join in the fun downstairs. At this moment, the people around them gradually realized that something was wrong. They whispered to each other and asked each other. In the end, they all learned that the people who left all went upstairs. Even the guests realized that something was wrong, let alone the media. Immediately, some clever reporters realized that there might be big news, so they did not hesitate to temporarily stop filming Ning Shuo and sneak upstairs. It would have been fine if they did not see it, but when they saw it, they were so scared that they wet their pants. They thought that there was already a rare event downstairs, but when they saw upstairs, they realized what was really extravagant. High-ranking officials gathered, rich people gathered. For example, if a bomb was dropped in this small hall at this moment, the entire Hua nation would collapse. As a result, all the reporters who went to check it out never returned. Ning Shuo held onto Ning Yaohua's arm. Her eyes were sparkling as she walked toward her happiness step by step. Finally, when she arrived in front of Su Yin, she turned around, only to find that the originally packed wedding banquet hall had been reduced by half, and people were still leaving at a speed visible to the naked eye. What's going on? However, under the watchful eyes of the public, it was not convenient for her to ask about it. Ning Xiao could only suppress her uneasiness and continue with the wedding. They exchanged rings and recited their vows. This was supposed to be the part she was looking forward to the most, but as time went on, the number of people in the banquet hall dwindled. In the end, only 1/3 of the people were left. Almost as soon as the ceremony ended, Ning Xiao immediately went to ask about the situation. "Dad, Mom, what's going on? Why did so many guests suddenly leave?" Chapter 1475. Ning Yaohua's forehead was covered in sweat. "I just sent someone to ask around, and they said that all the guests went upstairs." "What are they doing upstairs?" Ning Xiaohua's face was dark. It was a perfectly fine wedding, but first, the Zhuang family had a problem. Now, so many people were suddenly missing at the critical moment. The remaining guests were all absent-mindedly discussing what was going on. She was like an idiot when she was upstairs. She didn't even know how she made it through those 10 minutes. She even made a mistake in her vows. However, what was even more tragic was that no one noticed that she made a mistake. Upstairs. Wasn't Ning she organizing some random charity event today? When she set the wedding date, she chose the same day and the same place mainly because she wanted to bump into Ning Shi. So she immediately thought of this matter at this moment. But what were these people doing upstairs? Could it be that Ning Shi rescheduled the event to avoid her? Was there some other important meeting or event upstairs? I haven't found out yet. It's so crowded upstairs that we can't squeeze in. There's no way to find out what happened. Su Hongguang said with a dark face. Zhuang Lingyu's expression was unusually ugly. She looked at Su Hongguang and Su Hongguang's mother. How could something like this happen on such an important day? Such a big problem has happened, and we still haven't figured out what's going on. Do you want us, the female's family, to investigate? Su Hongguang's mother frowned. Didn't we already say that we're investigating? What was going on? It was still uncertain which side had gone wrong. Not all the guests who left were from our Su family. What do you mean? Su Yin looked exhausted. He quickly said, "Mom, stop arguing. I'll go up and check it out myself." "Big brother Yin, be good. Wait for me. I'll be back soon." Su Yin stroked Ning Xiaoluo's hair and walked out of the hall. When Su Yin went up, the people who were crowding outside were all gone. He only saw a charity event poster outside the hall. On the poster was a promotional photo of Ning Shi in a white dress. "Hello, sir. Please register here," one of the staff said politely when he saw Su Yin. At this moment, the other person recognized Su Yin and hurriedly whispered a few words in his companion's ear. His companion glanced at the groom's name hanging on Su Yin's chest and awkwardly fell silent. He wondered what Su Yin was doing here. "Sorry, may I ask if there are any activities here today?" Although he saw the sign, Su Yin still wanted to confirm it. "It's the charity foundation and donation ceremony started by our brother Shi," the staff member replied. Su Yin frowned slightly. It was really Ning Shi. Even though it might be rude of him, Su Yin could not help but look into the hall. He realized that most of the guests who had left earlier were still there. Not only that, but the people sitting in the front row were all important officials of the city. He even saw people from the Zhuang family. Another flower? Just as Su Yan's face was pale with shock, a faint voice came from behind him. As soon as he turned around, he saw a white-haired man looking at him with a faint smile. And the person who appeared at the same time was Lu Tingxiao. On the other side, Ning Shi got the news that Big Boss was also coming. She was about to go out to welcome her sweetheart, but she saw such a scene that made her dumbfounded. Chapter 1476. Holy shit, what was going on? Why did Yinshan also come? Yinshan was fine, but why was Su Yin here too? Ning Shi looked at Lu Tingxiao, Yinshan, and Su Yin. She was dumbfounded. How did these three people magically get together? When Yunxin saw Ningxi come out, he chuckled and looked in Su Yan's direction. Honey, is this your first love? Are you blind? The veins on Ningxi's forehead bulged. You're the one who's blind. Your whole family is blind. Hearing Ningxi's words, Yunxin glanced in the direction of Lu Tingxiao and Lu Jingli and laughed nervously. Oh, my whole family's blind? You're right. You're crazy. She was speechless. Then she glanced at Tang Yi. Can you hold a rope for your boss? Tang Yi looked as if it had nothing to do with him. Ningxi looked at Su Yan and raised her eyebrows. Mr. Su, did you come to the wrong place? Su Yan's expression was extremely complicated at the moment. He looked at Ningxi and wanted to say something, but in the end, he didn't say anything and turned to leave. He thought that Ningxi didn't come to his wedding because she couldn't accept it, but he didn't expect that what he saw was completely different from what he had imagined. It was as if his wedding today didn't affect her at all, and even his appearance didn't cause the slightest ripple in her eyes. What shocked him even more was the way the two men in front of him treated Ningxi and the way they looked at her. As a man, he couldn't be more familiar with the look in their eyes. And the important guests in this hall. The curator seemed to have specially ordered the other hall connected to this small hall, which had never been opened before, to be open to accommodate the guests. He realized that the girl he was so familiar with had become someone he couldn't understand at some point in time. Seeing Su Yan leave, Ningxi finally turned to Lu Tingxiao. Her eyes were sparkling, and her attitude had completely changed. Boss, please come in. Lu Tingxiao seemed to be very satisfied with the girl's completely different expression when she saw him. Okay, don't be too tired. Okay, I know, boss. Ningxi repeated in her heart. Hey, there's a boss here. Little CC, you really have bad eyesight. Lu Jingli, who was completely ignored, complained. Yes. Please come in, boss. You've worked hard. That's more like it. Lu Jingli snorted and went in. Cloud Depths, who did not receive a polite invitation, did not mind at all and strolled in leisurely. The moment Lu Tingxiao entered, there was a burst of exclamations in the hall. When Yunshan appeared behind him, the exclamations became even louder. Oh my God. I was just saying that if Lu Tingxiao and Yunshan were here, then all the big shots in the political and business world would be here. I didn't expect that they would actually all come. That's too scary. Who the hell was that little celebrity? Isn't his reputation a little too big? It is said that he is the pillar of Xianxia Entertainment. The two female stars of Xianxia Entertainment who had gone to attend Ning Xiueluo's wedding were filled with regret when they saw the scene upstairs. They had been invited long ago, but they didn't show up. Now, they had missed such a great opportunity. When they arrived, the charity event was already halfway through. Chapter 1477. Brother Yin, you're back. Have you figured it out? What's going on up there? Ning Xiueluo asked hurriedly. There's an important event. The guests are probably just going through the motions. Su Yin only said that there was an important ceremony up there, but he didn't mention Ning Shi. However, just because Su Yin didn't say it clearly didn't mean that others wouldn't say it. Su Sun walked over and said sarcastically, What important ceremony? It's just a charity foundation held by a female star. Oh, right. I almost forgot. That female star is Ning Shi. Ning Xiueluo's face suddenly turned pale. Su Sun, what did you say? Su Sun, don't talk nonsense if you don't know anything. Su Yin said it's an important event. Zhuang Lingyu's face suddenly changed when she heard Ning Shi's name. Su Sun was even more proud when he heard this and continued. Oh, I'm talking nonsense? If you don't believe me, you can ask Su Yin if what I said is true. Madame Zhuang and Miss Zhuang, who claimed that they didn't know the Ning family at all, are now Ning Shi's distinguished guests. Not only that, even Chief Zhuang came in person. TSK. It's just a small charity event. The family of 3 came in person, and all the high-ranking officials in the capital were invited. Su Yan, is what he said true? Before Zhuang Lingyu could speak, Su Yan's mother, Zheng Minjun, had already grabbed Su Yan's arm, her face full of disbelief. Zhuang Lingyu and Ning Xiuluo were also shocked. Ning Xiuluo couldn't believe what Su Sun had just said. This was simply a fantasy. Ningxi had only coaxed Zhuang Ke somehow, and she was only a friend of Zhuang Ke. How could Madame Zhuang and Chief Zhuang do this? This was absolutely impossible. However, Su Yan's face was calm, and he didn't say a word. It seemed that he had tacitly agreed. Su Sun's wife, Xianxia, said with a smile, "This is nothing. Even the president of Lu Group, Lu Tingxiao, and the rumored mysterious President Yin are here. With such a big show, no wonder everyone ran over as soon as they heard the news." Ning Yaohua was shocked. What? Lu Tingxiao came in person? Lu Tingxiao was the boss of Xianxia Entertainment, so he could understand President Yin. Which President Yin? Ning Yaohua asked again. That's President Yin who helped Ningxi at the banquet last time. Zhao Shanshan was afraid that Ning Xiuhua did not hate her enough, so she brought up the cocktail party on purpose. She even clicked her tongue at Zheng Minjun and said, "Mom, I really don't know what you're thinking. You put in so much effort, spent so much money, and made such a big scene. Just to marry a wild chicken? This pheasant was colorful and looked good, but it couldn't stand up to the contrast." As a matter of fact, the moment he arrived in front of the true phoenix, the trap was completely exposed. "Zhao Shanshan, who are you calling a wild chicken?" Zhuang Lingyu was so angry that she couldn't bear it anymore and threw herself at Zhao Shanshan. "Yo, you dare to do it, but you won't let others talk about it? Do you dare to say that Ning Xiuluo is really your biological daughter? Do you dare to go to the hospital to do a paternity test now? It's fine if you're trying to deceive outsiders, but why are you still pretending in front of us?" Zhao Shanshan's words were getting uglier and uglier, but they were all bloody, stabbing at Ning Xiuluo's heart the most. Chapter 1478. Zhao Shanshan had investigated Ning Xiuluo before she came in, but there was no concrete evidence. Now she finally had a chance to disgust her. How could she let go of this opportunity? Su Sun had been holding back for a long time because Su Yan's wedding was so much grander than his. Now that he saw that Su Yan's wedding was ruined, he was so happy that he gloated and said, "Big brother, I'm not trying to criticize you. As far as I know, you were dating Ningxi, weren't you? Your taste is getting worse and worse. Why did you choose such a girl in the end?" "Shut up." No matter how good-tempered Su Yan was, he still looked gloomy. "It's none of your business." Su Sun laughed heartily. After making Su Yan angry, he turned to his father. "Dad, I really admire your brain circuits. What the hell are you thinking? Do you think the Zhuang family will give face to Ning Xiuluo? It's okay that you two are so stupid. Who is the Zhuang family? Can't they tell who is the real one and who is the fake one? If they don't help their own child, how can they help a completely unrelated wild chicken?" Ning Xiuluo, Zhuang Lingyu, and Ning Yaohua's expressions were extremely ugly as Su Sun said the word pheasant. However, there were many guests outside, and it would only make things worse if they made a scene. Ning Yaohua said with a stern face, "Su Sun, watch your words." Su Yan's father and mother didn't look happy at this moment, but they actually began to regret it. Su Sun's words were harsh, but they were very reasonable, and they completely explained the ins and outs of what happened today. Everything started because the Zhuang family supported Ningxi. That was why so many guests went there after hearing the news. Even influential people like Lu Tingxiao and Yunshin went to support her. In the end, the show snowballed. Did the Zhuang family really go there to support Ningxi? Zhuang Lingyu, Zhuang Zongren's biological daughter, and Ning Xiuhua, whom she regarded as the apple of her eye, didn't win the Zhuang family's favor. But Ningxi, a small star who had just gained some fame in the entertainment circle, could make the Zhuang family go to such great lengths to protect her? This was simply too unbelievable, but it really happened like that. Su Hongguang and Zheng Minjun looked at each other and saw the uncertainty in each other's eyes. If the Zhuang family really cared about Ningxi more, and even accepted and acknowledged her, then their marriage with the Ning family would be a huge loss. Even if there were 100 Ning families, they would not be able to compete with the Zhuang family. Ning Shuo saw the regret on Su Hongguang's and Zheng Minjun's faces, and she clenched her fists so hard that her fingernails were about to break. She forced herself to remain calm and said, "All these years, the government has been encouraging us artists to use our influence to do more charity. I guess this time, Ningxi happened to be in time for the government's policy response." Upon hearing this, Ning Yaohua immediately said, "That's right, that must be it." Who knew that our day would coincide with this event? Anyway, let's hurry up and finish the rest of the process. The bride and groom are still waiting for a toast outside. Zheng Minjun's face darkened. At this moment, she couldn't hide her emotions at all. Looking at Ning Shuo, she could no longer suppress her dissatisfaction. Should we toast or go out and embarrass ourselves? Ning Shuo bit her lip, and her eyes turned red. "Dad, Mom, I'm really sorry. It's my fault. I should have considered more carefully. I really didn't expect that our day would coincide with Ning Shi's event." Chapter 1479. I really didn't expect to bump into Ningxi. I'm sorry. Ning Shuilua sobbed, her face full of grievance. So, why did they bump into each other so coincidentally? And in such a terrible way? The two families began to consider this question, especially Zhuang Lingyu, who cursed angrily. That wretched girl, she did it on purpose. No matter what happened, it was not the time to think about it. The most important thing now was to salvage the situation. After thinking for a long time, Su Hongguang finally took a deep breath and said, "We'll talk about the rest later. Su Yan, bring Ning Shuilua out to toast." Su Yan put his arm around Ning Shuilua's shoulder and brought her out. Zhuang Lingyu was also persuaded by Ning Yaohua to go out to entertain the guests. Zheng Minjun was still a little unwilling. After everyone left, she glared at her husband and said, "Are you really going to let it go just like that?" Su Hongguang said angrily, "Then what do you want me to do? We've already gotten our marriage certificate and announced it to all our friends and family. The wedding is already halfway through. Can we still return it?" "I want to return it," Zheng Minjun muttered. "Don't even think about it. Things are already messy enough. Don't cause more trouble. We still don't know the Zhuang family's attitude. Even if they do, they're already married. Can you still force Su Yan to divorce? It'll be even uglier then. Don't you think we've embarrassed ourselves enough today?" Su Hongguang was full of anger. Hearing this, Zheng Minjun's mind began to work. Who said they're getting a divorce now? Of course we'll wait and see. If the Zhuang family is really willing to give face to Ningxi and even acknowledge her as their granddaughter. So what if Su Yan divorces and remarries? No matter what, it's the Ningxi family who lied to us first. If they didn't hide it on purpose, would we be able to marry a fake one? It's not too much for our Su family to do. Su Hongguang did not agree or disagree. He only urged Zheng Minjun to go out and calm down the remaining guests. At this point, there was no turning back no matter what the situation was. They could only hurry up and continue with the toast. Otherwise, the remaining guests would all leave. Most of the people who hadn't left were relatives of the two families. If it weren't for the fact that they were related to each other, they would have gone upstairs to see what was going on. Naturally, they couldn't wait for the wedding banquet to end as soon as possible. In the past, there would at least be some lively guests who would make a fuss about the bride and groom. But at this moment, the entire wedding banquet hall was as quiet as a chicken. Under countless strange gazes, Ning Shuilua forced herself to drink with Su Yan and send the guests off. In the end, she watched as the guests sneaked upstairs right after they left. She had been busy for so long for today's wedding and finally managed to invite so many people. But in the end, they all benefited Ningxi. Even if she was going to die, she wanted to know the reason behind it. Ning Shuilua couldn't accept it no matter how she thought about it. When she entered the hotel suite to remove her makeup and change her clothes, she immediately changed into inconspicuous clothes. She put on a mask and sunglasses and secretly rushed upstairs. She also donated a pair of earrings before sneaking into the venue. When she arrived, the hall was almost full. Even the inner hall that had never been opened before was open. She finally squeezed to the front and saw the list of guests sitting in the front row. It was simply shocking. Any one of them was someone who could shake the political and business world. These people were all here for the Zhuang family? After seeing the terrifying influence of the Zhuang family, Ning Shuo was so jealous that she almost bit her lips. If the Zhuang family came today for her wedding banquet, then everything should belong to her. You're tuning into the Eternal Immortal Ballad YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.